Oh man, yo, what is up, y'all boys? Welcome back to the Heavily Opinionated Podcast. It's your boy Jamel Kijana, aka Melly Mel, aka whatever you want to call me. And with me, I got
the man with the plan, who the ladies love, and the man love the ladies back. It's your boy, Playboy Troy. What it do, baby?
yeah. Okay, who else we got in
You
here?
got your boy Cooley with the Thule, highly unruly. We in the building.
Hey, okay, all right. What else? What else? Who else in here?
It's your boy DJ Rose in this motherfucking bit, bro. You know what it do.
Bro, we can't even go 30 seconds without the man getting
You know
expletive.
what it do.
Like,
You know what
bruh.
it
He
do.
turned the tables
Consistency.
and he
Consistency.
dropped the curse words. Go ahead and drop that bomb, DJ Rose.
Hey,
Hate
ain't
it.
lying. Ain't lying. Ain't lying.
Hate it, man. All right, all right. Okay, y'all. We it's a slower weekend in the sports world, but we still got some things we're gonna talk about. We still got some things. So let's go ahead and get into it because the finals are still going on right now. There's game 2 tonight. So how you guys feeling about the whole series to overall and what's been going on with the series? Anybody want to talk about it first?
My team need to call 911. What my man Charles Barkley said it best. He said it best. When the house is on fire, just get the kids out. Go ahead and get the kids out. My goodness.
I would
No
like to
way.
add
Nah,
to
but
that. Sometimes you gotta let your people cook, but if they burning the house down, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn.
and the worst
Mm.
is the heat is getting to us. Lord have mercy. No, I'm a Heat fan. True and true. I believe in them all the way true. But man, I'm a fan that I got superstitions, but I believe that Denver gonna sweep Miami. Um, man, it's just they gotta change up that defensive strategy. I've been saying it for this whole. I've been saying it really since Joker's MVP season. The only way you can't stop Joker, but the only way to beat him is to let him score and and you have to make the others around him have a bad game because he's really only powerful when he's sharing the rock.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
literally,
You got to shut Jamal.
yeah, like once you shut everybody else down around Joker, that team falls because Joker literally he showed it in the first quarter of the first game. He almost had a double. He had a double in the first quarter. And it was just because he just knows how to pass the rock so good. So if you shut down everybody else around him, I'm okay with you giving up 30 to 40 points to Joker. That's okay. That's light work to give up. But once you start giving Michael Caldwell Pope and Aaron
Bruce
Gordon,
Brown.
Bruce Brown, Jamal Murray, you start giving up double digits to them, that's when you start losing.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami, they found a matchup that worked pretty good, which was actually
Which one?
unlikely. They had Highsmith on Joker, and it worked.
Who?
Highsmith, he's another undrafted player. He barely gets minutes. He barely gets burned, but when he do, he come out there with energy, and that's why I like him. But he came out there with some energy, and he brought it to Joker, and it's something that they could like. They got to keep giving him different looks. But like I said, you cut it's like a 5-headed dragon. And one of those heads of that dragon is golden. But if you cut those other 4 that ain't, that dragon's still gonna fall. And that's what I believe that Miami need to do. But I still got Denver sweeping Miami. Jimmy Butler is on that ankle. And he's downplaying.
Sweep?
He's downplaying it.
You don't even think they can get one?
I
It's too much.
depend
You
on
got
it depends on Jimmy. He downplaying that ankle. That ankle is hurting him, and you could tell. Ever since he turned that ankle in New York, he hasn't played the same way. He hasn't played
Mm.
super aggressive. He's been kind of cruising through the games. Like he's getting his shots up, but he ain't really attacking. He only showed a glimpse of it in that Boston game with Grant Williams because Grant Williams kind of woke the beast up out of him. But he's really just been coasting through majority of these games. And there's hope that Tyler Hero might be coming back. I want to say
Yeah,
this.
they said game 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They said game 3 at the game 4 definitely, game 3 possibly.
Yes.
So when they get back home, but game 4 that might be too
It
late.
might
I'm
be a
about to
little
say,
bit,
You know what I'm
little bit too
saying?
completely
late. So
honest with that,
that's
bro.
why I said.
Does anyone ever remember a situation with a player where they actually came back this late in
Nope.
any postseason that actually was effective?
Nope. Not of the
No.
same caliber as him. Like maybe if like a Giannis came. Remember when Giannis came back? They still lost that series, but it kept them from getting swept. So it's like a Giannis or a Kevin Durant or LeBron, like your franchise player, yeah, but a guy like Tyler Hero, no, that
Oh,
might not
actually,
really.
you know what's crazy? The Bucks actually won that one
Exactly.
game without Giannis.
Oh, they did. Oh,
That one
okay,
game they
okay,
did was
okay.
without Giannis.
Okay, well, that was just a bad example.
No, you
But
good.
I
No,
was
you
saying
good.
like
You
a
good. I
yeah,
thought,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was,
yeah,
cause I
yeah.
was
It
right
was
there
just a
with
bad
you, and
example,
I was like,
but
oh snap, wait a
yeah,
minute,
a player like Giannis
yeah.
or Kevin Durant or LeBron, those high impact players,
But
or
that's
even
what
a
I'm saying.
Jimmy
You
Butler
got to
or a
remember when
Jokic.
Tyler went down, he was kind of on the cold streak too. So it's kind of like
That is very
he
valid.
wasn't hot when he went down. So it's kind of like what status is he gonna? How much of an impact is he gonna bring? Because it's a guarantee he's coming off the bench when his first game when he comes back.
Most definitely, that is
So
true. You
you don't
don't.
mess up the flow of a team
Yeah.
they've been playing games without you, man. So you can't just randomly just pop up.
How long has he been hurt the whole playoffs?
Basically, he
Oh,
been hurt
damn.
since game one, basically of
First,
the
yeah, like first
of that
round, like game
Milwaukee
one,
turn
game two type shit.
in the first round. He
Oh,
been out since
oh,
game
wow.
one. So it's kind of like you can't mess up that flow.
And
You just
that
can't.
end
Yeah.
game burn if you not in, you
Yeah.
have to
But I think this might be a different series too if they did have Hero and Oladipo.
Yeah. That's why I
Yeah.
said I think I told Rouse and Cooley, I was like, yo, when teams everybody understand that there's gonna be injuries during the playoffs. But
Yeah.
Miami has had the worst of the bad luck of everyone because not only do they get injured players, they get them in clumps. Like it's not just one or two, it's three or four. So you have to think there was a moment when Miami was literally missing Tyler Hero, Oladipo, Kevin Love, and they're missing Gabe Vincent, and also he and Jimmy Butler too, all around the same time. Like they was kind of all hurt and bummed up at the same time. And I'm like, yo, there's teams that have one or two people hurt, but Miami got a whole that's five people. That's a whole lineup by itself that's hurt. So it's kind of like it's such a weird situation that Miami always finds a way, but man, they just have the worst of the luck when it comes to the injury bug.
Yeah. Because if you would have had those two players in, these guys, the free agent guys, they would be more like roles instead of having to start. Compared to how like Bruce Brown and like the other guys on the Nuggets team and Caldwell Pope, they're not starting, but when they come off the bench, they ball out. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same where it's like Miami, they're asking these guys that come off the bench to start right now. You know, it's like it's a little bit difficult
from the
after a
bottom of the
while.
barrel.
Like they have their hot streaks, but after a certain point, that flame will go out.
I said in the
Okay, Kyle Lowry.
prediction that we needed to limit Joker, and also we needed added production from like not only the supporting cast, the bench from Miami, but also the starters, and that's not happening. So now it's like an uphill battle with Miami. And
Who's we?
well, I said
Who's we?
I definitely
Mr. Trae Young. Who is we? Man, I'm surrounded by Heat bandwagon.
He been hanging out with the DJ too long. He been hanging out with that DJ.
Man, these Heat fans be killing me. Man, these Heat fans be.
No, hold up. I gotta say
definitely
something
not
real
a
quick.
Heat fan.
I gotta say
confused
something
here
real quick.
because
I
we
got
got two guys.
I told Cooley this.
that was
I told Cooley this earlier this week.
But no.
Yeah, Kenneth, no, Kenneth, no, Kenneth, no, Kenneth, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do this.
I told Cooley this.
Oh, nah, it ain't nothing Lakeem. No, he out of here.
Hold up. No, hold on now, because you got to think about this. This whole playoffs, like from the very beginning of the playoffs, right? First of all, it started with my bad, DJ Rose was over here talking about how the Suns gonna win. They done got
I
bounced.
said the Celtics gonna
He
win.
done talked about how the 76ers gonna win. They done got bounced.
I said that.
He done
I said if he played the Sixers.
I didn't say the
I said
Celtics.
the
I said the
Sixers might win that.
He didn't say the
I didn't
That's
say
how I
Celtics.
the.
said that,
He
bro. Don't
said,
misquote me. Don't misquote me now.
Hold on. You gonna let me finish? You gonna let me? You said you was 10 toes down with the
I wasn't
Suns,
with the Suns. You was with
10
the
toes down
Suns.
with the 76ers.
You was with the Suns.
You
You
was
was
10
with the
toes down with
Suns.
76 until Joel Embiid got hurt. Then you hopped up off the bandwagon. Then
I was only 1 foot on all of my predictions.
the only thing
Because
I said,
some of these brothers don't be wanting to
I
play
I was
said,
just
basketball one
pointing out the
night.
fact
So
that the teams
I've only put 1
that
foot.
Rose has been riding
haven't
with,
missed
they
yet.
ships are sinking, and they've been sinking fast. And he once the Lakers ship fell, what he
I
said?
said
Oh, I'm a Heat fan. Oh, here
nah.
we go.
He hit that we.
Here we go.
The only team I was
Let's
10
back
toes
this shit
down
up.
on was the
So
Warriors
when the
beating the
Heat beat the
Kings.
Bucks,
I knew
I
that one
said
was gonna
it's
happen.
going between Boston and Philly. We play Philly, we might lose. We play Boston, we win in that bit in 7. What happened? We won that bit in 7. I was wrong about Denver, but someone said the Warriors, and you also said the Suns too. There, my guy. So don't act now. Don't act now. You switched up when Chris Paul got
No.
down. You
I'm
switched
gonna
up.
I can tell
So
you. I can tell you exactly what I
don't get
said. I
twisted,
can
my
tell
guy.
you exactly. Hold on.
Frank,
I can
I
tell you
think Frank
exactly.
was
This is exactly
consistent
what
with
I
the Denver
said.
Miami
This
tip,
is
but
this is
you was
exactly
on
what
the
I
fence
said.
too there. You
I
was
said
there
the
too
question.
now.
First of all, the conversation we had was the main start. This was the topic.
No,
Who
that
had the
was
most
before the
pressure?
podcast. That's a
And
compliment.
I
That was before the podcast.
Oh no, not this again.
that's what the
Not this
main
again.
topic. So you tell me that wasn't the.
Way before.
Bro, that was a conversation before the All
That's
Star
what I'm
break. Come on
Yeah,
saying.
now.
And this is how
Come
I argue
on.
with
we
Ain't
you.
going
nobody
back to
remembering
back.
that.
I
New
remember it
information.
because
We're gonna go
Mr.
back to
Hey,
back.
DJ be having all the
That's
records,
what
but
I
he ain't
want to
got the
know.
records of that conversation though.
Because
He got all the
this
records.
man going back to the
He pull
All
up the
Star
stat line
break.
of
I'm
This man
looking
pulling
two
at
up
the Suns
receipts,
But
too.
Pull
boy.
up
hey,
receipts
I
because we
said, and
had
I
been
quote,
saying it. Well, me and Najee was saying it.
guess what? Me and Cooley was about to go to the gym, and we had a whole delayed gym break because we had the conversation about this. And I said, hey, because you kept asking me, who going to the finals? I was like, Denver got a team to go to the finals, but I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix would go to the finals. That's
So
what I
you
kept
was rocking
saying.
with
And I said I
saying
wouldn't
Phoenix
be
could go to the
surprised
finals
that
before they
Denver
even
could
got
go
Kevin
to the
Durant.
finals too, because they actually have a
That
team.
before that was way before they even that was around the
I
time they got
said
Kevin.
Phoenix could go to the
That was
finals,
when
and I
that
said
my bad.
Denver.
I'm tripping. Because
I
I
said
want
Denver
to say
has a
we had that
team.
conversation
No, they had
before they
They
Durant.
had
got to
Durant.
Oh
Durant.
wait,
If I
yeah, I
remember
think
They
they
correctly,
did.
literally right after
if
they
I
traded
remember
for
correctly,
Durant.
my guy.
They literally just traded. They had just traded for Durant. Jamel, am I telling a lie? Didn't they just? They had Durant.
Don't hold on,
No,
don't
okay,
ask me
because
this part
I'm telling you.
because I might
Because
not
no, because
remember
this is
everything.
because
I remember
I
the
remember what I
conversation.
said.
Sheesh.
Because I said they had just got Durant, and I was like, man, they look good on paper. But we said the same thing about Brooklyn, and then I was like, but the problem is the Suns have a great team on paper, but guess what? Their team is built like paper because they all get injured. That's my exact words. And I was like, if they stay healthy, yes, they're going to the finals. But they can't stay healthy. So I was like, the only right behind them will be Denver because Denver has a team that could go to the finals. That's why I didn't say win the title. I said go to the finals. That was my words. And guess what? Right after I said that, you said, who do Denver have? And I was like, they got Aaron Gordon, Caldwell Pope, they got Michael Porter Jr. or Michael Carter Porter, whatever. And you was like, all of them, who they is? And I'm like, they got a team that's been built, they've been together for almost, you're talking about a team, the Phoenix Suns, that was only together for what, 3 or 4 months? And then you got the Denver Nuggets, who was a team almost basically put together. They've been together for like 2 or 3 years now. They've been together really since the bubble. All they did was add a couple people there, but they kept that same core together. And I was like,
Yeah.
Phoenix look good on paper. And if they are healthy, they're going to the finals. But Denver has a chance to go to the finals because they have a team there. And then I said on the east side, on the East Coast, I was like, really, it's only 3 teams that's like we could really see going there. And I said the Bucks, the 76ers, and the Celtics. And then I said the sleeper teams will probably be the Heat. And maybe, I said, maybe you had, and this was way off. I was way wrong on this one. And I ain't gonna lie, I was off on this one. I said, I said because they got put out. They got put out early. I don't even think they got it. Brooklyn. I was like, okay, Brooklyn got a chance But that's if they really keep if that team could like get hot because they was hot at that time. That was the two sleeper teams, and I said the most pressure was on Denver. Really, most of the pressure was on Denver because they got the back-to-back MVP, and at that time we was talking about it. Joker was possibly going to be a 3-time MVP, and I was like, the pressure's going to be on them because they don't went to the Western Conference Finals before, and he don't won back-to-back MVPs, and you ain't made an appearance to the finals yet.
Yeah, that would be a
That's
lot
a
more
lot more
pressure.
pressure.
I could see
And
that
then
being
I
a
was
lot more
like,
pressure
and then
than any other situation. I feel like right after that would have been the Phoenix Suns for getting there 2 years ago,
then you
and
add
then
Kevin Durant.
also just how you went out last year, and then now you add Kevin Durant. You built a super team.
And then I was like, right on the East
throughout
side
the
is the
years.
76ers. Because out of all those out of the
Yeah,
top teams,
yeah.
the 76ers, the Bucks have already been to the finals and won.
They don't. The Bucks
The
have no
Celtics
pressure. Me
already
personally, I always said it. Giannis doesn't need
Yeah.
another ring. If he gets another one, cool. But he did what Jokic is about to do now.
Exactly.
He did it for me. Giannis in the middle of the 3-ball era, in the middle of the guard era, the middle of whatever era you want to call it. He showed us I can be a big and dominate, not just get an MVP because you could just get an MVP, just having a great year, but getting my team to the finals and winning it as a big man. That's something we hadn't seen in a long time. I've never seen it in my lifetime. I'll just go ahead and say that. And I'm 25 years old. So
that's a stat that stat that I would like to look up where I might be wrong on this one. No. I want to know who was the last Finals MVP center.
Houston.
Was that Hakeem?
Maybe the Houston guy. What's his name? Olajuwon?
I don't think Shaq,
and that was like the 90s,
wasn't it? With the Lakers?
I'm saying, I want to look up big man led a team to the finals and won. We could say not Tim. What's the dude's name? Dwight Howard led his team in 09, but he lost. Because he led his team as a big, because let's be honest, after it was him, Jameer Nelson? And I don't know anybody else. I couldn't name anybody else.
Jameer Nelson, Rashard Lewis, and
who? Bro, what was that? What was
Rashard?
That third dude works at a warehouse. I've never heard of him.
The disrespect on Rashard Lewis' name.
He's clocking in tomorrow. Okay, come on.
No, I'm just saying. I remember the receipts because I know Mel don't watch basketball throughout the regular season.
No, as of this past season and a half, but in years previous, I did. It's just this past season, it's been like,
and then I know Cooley don't watch it during the regular season that much. Rose, he watches
I be
from time to time, but he be up on the stats.
That brother watch highlights and stats.
I'll sit there and watch the whole game.
No, you say like that's all I want. Like I just want to see you to get buckets. Like no,
that's literally what I just said. How you gonna say nah? That's what I just said. You watch the highlights and the stats.
So yeah, that shit matters.
That's not how I came out. All right.
No, I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about offensive defense. I'm talking about the flow of the game. I'm like Cooley don't caught me. I don't watch some games where I'm just like, yo, and I'm telling Cooley like this is exactly about how the game about to go. This is exactly how it's about to finish up. Because I'll sit there and watch these games. I'm like, all right, here they go. Here come the Warriors. They about to go on that 20 to 10 run. And guess what? They done got themselves close. They done probably was down by 20. They done tied the game up. Guarantee you, here comes Steph or Poole to come shoot some janky ass 3 for no reason. And guess what they do? Come shoot a janky ass 3 for no reason. Some of them they go in. Some of them don't. That's why guess what? When Poole went for that game winner, guess what? He missed. And Rose, didn't you call me? No, we talked about it. We was like, why would Poole shoot that shot? And what I said, that's a Warrior shot.
No.
Because that's the shoot. That's the shot they
that
take.
Is what you do. But if you look,
I didn't even have to watch the regular season to know that. Like that's just what they do. Because remember, in the finals the previous year, Poole was.
Why did you pull that? You could literally take one step in, and those Warrior shots is what got them bounced too.
Those are Warrior shots.
If you go back to the If you go back to the NBA Finals last year against the Celtics, there was a part of the series when Golden State started to
But that
take
was off the
momentum because they were
momentum,
making
right?
shots like that. Jordan Poole was pulling half court buzzer beaters and feeling good like that. Damn. No, damn. Let me finish. That's what started the momentum. Now, I'm saying that started the series shifting. Like when they were taking those shots and making them, that's when people were like, "Oh, I think Golden State about to win this
What's
series." You don't make those shots and lose that finals. Those shots they won the finals because they started making those types of shots. And then this series against the Lakers, they weren't making those shots, and that's when we started to be like, they're probably not going to win
Yep.
this series. Their series are defined off of, are you going to make those crazy shots or not this series? Of course, they probably had some series where they've won without having to make crazy shots like that. But when it comes to like bigger moments, those bigger series, like a finals or like a series against the LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? Like the series against the Kings, they didn't have a lot of crazy shots like that because the Kings, you didn't have to do that just to beat them. But certain teams like a Boston in the finals or a LeBron in the second round with a hunch on his back, you got to make those types of shots to beat
They're living
those
down
teams.
by the three, and especially for Golden State, you have to understand they have shooters like that could make those shots, those crazy circus shots, like you saying, Jamel. So it's like for me, that's why
but
I was like, I'm not mad
this
at
is the
that
thing
shot
though.
because I've seen them make those shots. So it's like, it's Jordan Poole shooting it from 40 feet. He's done it multiple times before. So it's not like it's a
No,
surprise.
no one's
Oh my
saying he's
God, why would he
JaVale
do
or
such a
Draymond
thing?
taking
Y'all
that
act like
shot, but
he's
what's the
JaVale McGee
textbook when
shooting
you
that
play the
ball from back
Warriors?
there.
When you play
Like
the
he
Warriors, you
shoots
play
that
them
ball
play it
all the
close because you
time.
know they're gonna make momentum swings. You know at some point you might be down 15-20, but you play it down, get to a close game, 97-94, 97-97, whatever the case may be, it's a close game. Last shot. What do they do? You see the Warriors shots, right? And how many times do they make it? How many game winners is Steph Curry hitting that offense? How many times did Klay Thompson hit it in the offense? They don't hit like that. That's why when you keep it close, you have a chance to beat them. Where it's like, okay, if he just hit it, yep, damn it, it was just their day. But more often than not, when you on them like that, yeah, you have a good chance of beating the Warriors. Because when they had KD, they had someone to go get them a bucket. They play the offense and say, hey, as soon as I swing it, you're open. You could take it right there. Yes, you can, but should you? That's decision making.
No. But that's the thing though. That's why I keep saying, like,
Yeah,
you keep saying you're not
literally.
mad at
All
what
you have to
you're
do is take
why
one
he's take
step
so
and
what is
take
your
one
question?
step
Like
further, and
why
be
is he taking
cool.
that shot?
Because even at that
Are
range, Najee, he only hit 2 of them threes in both playoffs,
But
both
that's the
runs that
thing.
he's been
You
in.
just said
So
you
that's
said
not
it
saying, oh, those
yourself.
are Warrior type threes. He's only hit 2 of them. He was 2 for 19
But
from
guess
that
what?
specific
You give
spot,
him you
Najee.
let him shoot that.
2 from
He's
19
a
in 2
shooter.
years, Najee.
If
Why
he
he
could
still
hit
keep
two of
pulling?
those, that means he could hit three.
It's the last third. It's the last five
And
seconds of the
it's
game. It's the last
when
5 seconds of the game. I'm not sitting here like, if I'm 2 for 7 and I got the ball with the last 5 seconds, I'm not like, well, I've been cold all game. But it's like,
but
no. As an NBA player, as a high school player, you might pass that ball up. But as a professional shooter, I'm not thinking, oh, let me pass this ball up because I've been kind of cold today. Of all the other games, I probably had some pretty cold games, but I've also had a majority of hot games. So it's like, I don't think he's gonna think of his stat line in the last 5 seconds. Come on, bro, you go just
It's
take
a
that shot,
warrior
especially
shot.
if he had it. But I do agree with you. He should have took a step above.
he
But
took it.
that's a warrior shot. If he wasn't
If
on
he
the
didn't have that,
Warriors,
you got to understand. He takes that one. He gets that ball, and he takes one dribble ahead. Right, the defender was already closing out. So by the time he took
Ain't that what he already
that
do?
one dribble
Don't
to
he
come
already
up
take
a
the
little
shot and
bit,
swing his
the
legs, get
defender
out?
already closed out. So now it's an even more difficult shot. Hold on. Rose, I'm trying to break it down to you as a you have like from my point. Like now that I sit there and I'm like closer to the game now, because I was used to just watching it on TV and being as a fan, but being closer into it now, I see it where I'm like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense now because it's like when my players are hitting, when they're hitting shots that I'm usually like, why are you shooting that? Why are you shooting that? I'm like, okay, okay. You know what? That wasn't a good shot. That's not what we wanted. But he took that shot, and guess what? All of a sudden, he make that same exact shot again. So guess what? When that time comes, when the moment when he's there, and I'm like, okay, oh, I wish he'd get one more dribble in. That defender's closing out. Guess what? That window that he had to shoot that same shot he done made twice before is gone. That window is gone. So
No,
now
being
what? Now we
real,
gotta
if
waste
a
more
person
time
really at
passing
fault
the
of all
ball and
this,
finding
it was
another open
Draymond. He
shot.
threw a lead
Like
pass instead
it's
of
just
throwing it
that
straight
is what
directly
it
to Jordan
is.
Poole.
Like
He
you
wouldn't
have
have
to go
took
ahead
the
and take
shot
that.
right there. He would have still had his feet set to take the shot. He wasn't thinking about the distance. He just got the ball and said, "I'm gonna take it." Draymond's decision and
He
role is
would
to
he
give
would
him
have
the
turned that
ball.
ball over. He would have turned that ball.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Okay,
Let's watch the play. Watch the play. Watch the play. I want to see. I want to see the play again.
okay. The man had
Yep.
10 seconds. That's what I was trying to say. I forgot to turn my mic back on. But yeah, he had 10. I said 4.
No.
I was like, oh, he had
still
10.
had
I was like,
time.
oh,
He still had time.
yeah. So let's watch it. Let's watch it. And he had Vanderbilt closing in on him too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that I don't know if he would have been able to take that other step because all that space, Vanderbilt was already kind of about to be in that space. He wouldn't, yeah,
Now he wouldn't take.
he wouldn't have had the shot. He wouldn't have had the shot if he tried to make a move. He could have made a move. He would have had to make a move, and he still would have been able to because 10
But then you
seconds.
got to
So,
think, right? Play.
but then also AD's
AD's
right
right
there.
there. LeBron is right
Austin
there.
Reeves is on him. He is on Curry. Clay's just standing in the corner and just being docile.
Guess what? LeBron is
So
right there in the
I
middle.
don't think he
He
really
left out
had
that
any other
pass
options.
That if Poole wanted to go to the basket, right? So then you have to understand too. LeBron, people forget LeBron is such a talented player, and he understands when moments are happening like this. So say Poole takes that one dribble. Guess what? It's not there. He's probably going to pass it back to Draymond. Draymond is probably going to call a play. So now what you don't want to do is call a play that you've already played so many times, that you've ran so many times. Because LeBron and them already know what play is about to happen. They preparing for that. So they're probably going to end up running a set where it's a double screen where you get Steph, you're going to get Austin Reeves off of Steph as best as possible. And they probably Lakers are already going to be cheating that play. So that moment, I'd rather Jordan Poole go ahead and take that shot because that's a shot that I've seen him make before, instead of me with a possibility of running out the clock and a play being turned over, or Draymond's going to have to shoot that ball. So, or they foul Draymond and they end up putting him on the free throw line. So now my game is in the hands of Draymond, or if I'm going to turn the ball over. I'd rather have Poole just go and take that 40-foot shot that he's already made before. That's stuff that you have to end up dealing with. But you have to look at it past why did he just take that dribble? Because there's so much more to that. It's so much. That Vanderbilt closeout, you seen it.
And if I
He
remember
took that
correctly,
one
I
dribble.
believe
Vanderbilt's
Vanderbilt also
already
had
on him.
5 fouls at
He
that moment
already
too.
right there. Vanderbilt's
So he
waiting
could have
for
made
him.
a play to create
If
that.
he take that one dribble or that one pause, because Vanderbilt came out, he closed out discipline. But that doesn't mean. But that's what I'm saying. Look, when Vanderbilt closed out, he didn't close out in undisciplined. He closed out discipline wise. He ran out there with his hand already up. He didn't jump already, so it wasn't
He
like
did get one.
he was gonna get a foul.
Him and
Because
Steph
at
both
that
got
time,
one.
point in the game too,
Him and
no
Steph both
referee is
got
gonna
one.
call no cheap
Them 4-point
flopping
plays.
fouls
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
Don't act like it.
And if you know Jordan Poole,
Maybe,
he
depending.
flops and flails a lot. If you know Jordan Poole, he flops and flails a lot, and he doesn't get a lot of those calls.
I would say in that Lakers series, he didn't get a lot of calls that he would have gotten. And now we also got to remember that was game 1. I thought that was game 2, but that was game 1. So that rest of that series, the Lakers, not the Lakers, what's the team? The Warriors did not get a lot of calls. I remember throughout the middle of that series, I saw a lot of hands up from the Warriors, like, where's the call? Where's the call?
And they literally over exaggerate everything when
Exactly,
it's
and
not a foul.
that's the whole reason we're talking about. It's a jump shooting team, so
And when you
in their
when
scheme,
you're a
in their
referee,
system, that's a shot that they're comfortable That's a shot that they're comfortable with Jordan Poole taking in the context that it's 10 seconds
That's
left.
a shot that they're used to.
It's a closeout coming. In real time, you gotta make a decision. And him missing it is just him missing the shot. Like, but if he would have made the
Yeah, it's a
shot,
make or miss
then
lead,
everybody
but you could
would the
clearly see when
context
Steph
would have been
Curry
different.
hang his
Yep.
head down, like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. Hey, that's all. That's all. I'm gonna leave alone on that. To that boy out of there.
Exactly.
That boy out of there.
Because Steph was already
I
fucking
think we
tired.
agree to disagree. Another
Steph was already tired from getting them back.
another sports
It's
topic. Yeah.
another sports topic. Another one.
Yep.
Another.
Yep. We don't have to chuck that in the bucket
keep making
of
the
agree to
content like
disagree.
this.
That was for all the listeners out there. That possibly could have been a name for this podcast. Agree to disagree, because that happens a lot when we have our sports conversations and life conversations. We just be having to agree to disagree. All right, moving on. So, last episode we talked a little bit about the
Nah, we
guys who
not,
got
bro.
fired,
He may
and
go down to the
now
golf
all
course.
of them but one that we talked about have been rehired.
You can work with skills.
Man, don't do
You can
Doc
work with
like that.
Skip
He's gonna
Bayless.
get a job somewhere. He is gonna get a job. That table.
Toronto.
I didn't say what type of job. I didn't say what type of job, but the man go get a job somewhere. Or if not, hey. But then at the end of the day, no.
He might.
Stan Van Gundy.
Well, you know what? I ain't gonna skip. I ain't
He,
gonna skip. I ain't gonna
a
skip the
coach.
topic.
The coaches aren't okay. Let's be honest. When was the last time we really saw former coaches on debate shows? That's more of a former
debate show.
Who?
You don't know, like the morning show.
What debate show was he on? That's an analyst. That's a different. I'm talking about a specified. He was on, like, what do you call it? For NBA.
Nah, he never had line. He was always guest.
Okay, well, I'm talking about like headlining a debate show. The headliners of these debate shows tend to either be journalists or former players. Coaches will come on to do a segment and to speak their opinion and leave, or a coach will be on the Inside the NBA, or what's the TNT thing they call, what's that, Inside the NBA on TNT or whatever it's called. They'll do those where they're on a panel and they'll talk about the game or at halftime or something, do a halftime report. But debate shows, that's not really their thing, and I don't think Doc would really. He ain't got time for that. He's been having a debate all his life with these.
Teams.
Just being a coach is a debate within itself. So
dropped the ball with them. He had the
so
76ers.
I don't know.
Dropped the ball with them back-to-back seasons, and you don't see no progression from the teams. You just see, okay, they get to the second round, bounce. Like, no conference finals.
Do you look at Doc Rivers' career as underperforming? Because
like, on
that
to one ring
was so loud that Boston holds on.
Me personally, I think it's a general managing issue with Philly.
Yes.
No, because there's so many coaches that have never even got anything close, but have been in the league, but I've been coaching for many, many years. So no, I won't say that.
What I would like to say, I don't know. I wouldn't say which coach, because there's been a lot of coaches that have. What coaches have been able to be blessed that have teams that were always contenders and just never got the job done? That's what comes to my mind. Because Doc Rivers has
2 years.
really, he's always had a team that's a contender. Like, I don't remember him being on a team that had to be rebuilt a lot. Just that one time. Okay, we don't even count that time. that's when he's on the ascend. Like, he's ascending up the tower. And it's just like, now that he did win that one ring, and I feel like, to me, that team underachieved, to me, because at that time, it's rare to get 3 superstars at the same time. At that time. Because that was the very first big 3. And for that moment, for you to only get one ring, is like, yo, what's going on? Like, and you gotta think now, Boston hasn't won the ring ever since that moment. And which is why they scream so loud about this ring.
It was against the
because they haven't won since that ring. But it's like Doc Rivers has moved on from that team,
Well, I think it was because it was also a historical ring. Maybe I'm biased because that's the first NBA Finals I can remember. That's the first NBA Finals I can truly remember. So, me personally, it's a very significant ring to me because I heard so much about Kobe, 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 Kobe. And then here comes the Boston Celtics. Like I said, this is my first time really watching basketball for like a playoff scenario. So going into that series as a kid, I only knew currently the only players I knew currently: Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Those were like the top three that I knew about. I didn't really think Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. Those weren't guys that I was like, oh, this is what I thought of as a kid when I heard NBA. No, I thought of Tim Duncan, LeBron James, and Kobe. So I saw this team, a built-in team with the young Rondo and all these other guys that they had, beat Kobe. It was just like, wow. It was just very impactful. I feel like it was a very historic ring to me. I feel like after LeBron's 3-1 comeback, that was one of the best NBA final like accomplishments that I have ever seen. So I feel like the significance of it.
Because
I think it has a lot of props. And that's why, because at the end of the day, there's no other ring that has given someone that much weight. Because look at what happened with Milwaukee. The man got you a ring 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's already out. And then we could even look at Toronto. He got your ring 4 or 5 years ago. He's already out. So that you can get a ring and be out. But Doc has ridden off of that one ring, but that ring was very significant as well. So.
The output.
Because of that.
Yeah, because of it.
And it's like, yo, you gotta, like, it's no way that you get, yes, there's some luck to it, but it's like, man, you get blessed with you get blessed with Lob City and LA. This is, and I'm not, there's no shade on the Clippers, but this is a time when they ain't the little brother. Like, they're becoming to be an equal brother of the Lakers at this time, as of attendance wise, because nobody really wanted to go see a Clippers game for a long time until the Lob City showed up in there. And now they're in the playoff contention. And it's like, yo, you got to get the job done. Okay, cool. We bit that off. It's like, you know what? You didn't get the job done.
Orlando.
You had your chances.
No, don't skip. They went
Then
Lob City Clippers, and then he had
the 76ers.
Kawhi Leonard, Paul George led Clippers. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The teams are.
Yes, he did. Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He was there long enough.
Okay, yeah, he had 2 eras.
Of Lob City. I totally forgot. Thank you, Cooley. Because I truly did. I forgot he was there during the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George section. So I think that's where I was kind of like, yo, come on, bro. Now you got them. You telling me you ain't winning with that? Nah, come on, dog. Like, I'm talking about the Clippers as a juggernaut at this time. They're a juggernaut. And it's like, dog, I feel bad for him because, like, yo, the injuries caught up to him, but it's like, fuck, bro. You still, like, when they weren't injured, they was getting their ass beat. It's like, come on, bro. And now he's in the 76ers section. You got Joel Embiid there. They started building the team. I mean, like, they're building blocks. Then you add, once you kind of built that whole pyramid and you top that pyramid off with James Harden, guess what? James Harden is not the same player, but when the game came down to it, certain games, he showed up. But then it's like, fuck, bro. They didn't get the job done. They weren't put in the right position to win. They had the right people, but it wasn't the right position.
I don't know if they had the right people.
Not
everybody.
But it was good.
If we're going off
that team was gonna get you to the final.
Yeah, because if we're going off of James Harden only showing up every now and then, that really just kind of means they only had
Maxey showed up
consistently.
James Harden showed up when they needed him.
Okay. I like Maxey.
They don't even have it.
He showed up. That's true. Okay. No. Not when they needed him. When he wanted to.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, of course that. But I'm saying he didn't show up when they needed him. He showed up whenever he would just show up. It wasn't when they needed him.
I kind of never counted on the 76ers to get to the finals or win a championship because of their play style. I never liked their play style they played too much ISO ball for a team
He's
that
not,
didn't have a
and
lot
I've
of
been
good
saying
ISO
it.
players. And it's the fact
Exactly. Tobias
Joel
Harris is
Embiid
not that
is
dude.
not a
No
he's
more.
not a small he's not
He
a
was
shooting
for a
guard.
few months.
Why is Joel Embiid out? He's getting the
He
ball
was doing
at the
it
top of
all
like the
regular season
3-point
for the
line, bro.
And
MVP.
you want to
Get
flop,
your ass
and
down
you
in the
want to look for
hole.
calls,
You too
He did
but
it
you're
big.
not
all
even
year
playing
for him.
aggressive.
You ain't
You're not gonna
you
get the
can't
In
play
the
call.
Joe.
playoffs, and then it was like, yo, what the hell, bro?
You not.
Yeah, the ISO ball, when you have a dominant big, you don't need to have an ISO ball type of play style.
But
And that's why I never was like, oh boy, the 76ers. I say they have pressure on them, but I was never like, yo, they're going to the finals. Because I knew their play style was not their match for that team.
Exactly, because James Harden doesn't play well, because James Harden is an ISO player. But when you have a big, that ISO ball doesn't really work. So it's like, imagine Giannis, he's surrounded by guys that aren't ISO guys. Jokic is not surrounded by a bunch of ISO guys. He's around guys that could just help you out and get a bucket, but not in ISO form. So I feel like that's what it really was. So I feel like eventually,
of course,
as much as James Harden is, he looks great on paper, but if Embiid is your answer, which of course he obviously is, he just won the MVP. He's been there forever. You definitely pick James Harden. I mean, you definitely pick keeping Embiid over trying to keep James Harden. Come on now, let's be honest. So yeah. Hold on, I'm almost done, Rouse. I'm almost done. I know the contract. I'm almost done. So I just think that play style, it looks good because it's like, yeah, you had an opportunity to get him. Why waste it? You don't want to just not get him. But at the end of the day, you tried it. It's not probably going to work because he's at a point in his career where that's just how he plays. He plays ISO. He needs to be on the team. His best success in the Rockets when he was just playing ISO, doing his thing. It's never when he had a huge, successful big man.
Man, no.
Dwight Howard, come on now. Stop. I said a dominant big. Chris Paul, that's different. He can play well with other guards and other forwards, but I'm talking about with like when it comes to bigs, his best years were like when the big was just kind of just an average big, not a dominant MVP style big like Giannis, Joker, or Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Like Harden would do good with a DeAndre Ayton or something like that. Like, come on now. Those are not dominant bigs. That's what I'm saying. He could play well with those types of guys.
James was coming off the bench, so James really led the second.
That's true too.
Majority of time, he ended up playing the last few minutes with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook to end off the games, but majority of time he came off the bench, and that was his squad. So
yeah. And that's cool. And that's not my point either. My point is that he's never been that successful with he's not going to be succceschel with a dominant big. A lot of ISO players aren't successful with dominant bigs. The only one we could say is maybe Kobe and Shaq.
James, this is how you could tell Jamel is correct on the situation, right? James worked wonderful with Clint Capella. Wonderful with him. They was great together. And the only reason was because Clint only catch lobs and he blocked. He didn't do nothing else but catch lobs in Houston. So that's what ended up him getting a bag in Atlanta because that's all he did. Oh, sorry, Houston re-signed him. Then they traded him to Atlanta. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. So, but you gotta understand what Jamel is saying, which is correct. That James, he works great with other guards that are going to do passing more, dominant passing more.
But this is
guard.
Well, they don't. I wouldn't say that about the guards. I just feel like he plays good with everybody but a dominant big.
He plays better with pass first guards because he didn't do good with Kyrie Irving. Man, he didn't do good with Russell Westbrook either.
No.
What's up?
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I just feel like I think Doc would have had more success with Embiid if the general office wasn't so like, oh, we could go get James Harden, and instead was like, oh, let's actually go build pieces around a big man like Embiid. Let's look at how Milwaukee.
for
Because at
expecting
the end of the day,
that. But when you're a
if
young
you
team
look
that
at
hasn't
how
done that in
Milwaukee
however
trusted,
long or
because
whenever
the
long,
huge thing with
it's
Philly
not
is
the
trust the
ideal
process,
coach
trust the
for your
process.
franchise
That's
to push
exactly
it
what
to the next
Milwaukee
level.
actually did.
Hence why
So it's
we
like
Well,
saw
this the
Philly
thing.
should be
niggas saying
looking at
some
it
nigga had
from
no
that
motivation,
blueprint.
he's lazy on the court. While we saw that last game and everyone's walking up and down the whole court on offense and defense, ain't nobody calling no timeout or nothing. You just gonna let them niggas continue to walk up and down the court, turnover, let them niggas score and not say anything, not a damn thing. He's a great player. He's a great coach for the guys in the locker room, but can't do it. You just can't do it like that, bro. That's why I like with them getting Nick Nurse, because he's gonna hold them accountable because he's done it
They
and
gave
he's
up.
already shown like, yeah, we love Kawhi,
They
but
gave up.
hey, even when he lost them, they still was what, like
I
fourth in
think
the East
that's
that
why
year
Doc
after
lost
Kawhi
his
left.
job, because they gave up on him. They gave up on Doc, and Doc had to lose his job.
No,
Yeah, but I just don't think that
the
it's going to change because, like I said, I think it's a hardened. I think it's a general managing and personnel
Yeah,
issue more
for
than
the
it is a
76ers,
coaching
yeah.
thing. I think the coaching thing, because yes, you are right, Kenneth. That's the energy, the laziness that was the icing on the cake. But the cake itself is
yeah,
Harden and B don't really
it
mesh
was,
like that down the stretch.
but he got an
That play
MVP
style is
as his teammate.
not going to work.
James
Embiid
Harden
needs
didn't
different types
play.
of players
James
around him.
Harden
And
didn't play
a
It was
Maxey
perfect
works.
it was
You know
the
what I'm saying?
front office's fault.
Embiid to play at his full capacity.
Yeah, going to the playoffs. Yeah, that's a whole different. That's a different subject. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Exactly. No, okay, yes, but remember, MVP is off your numbers. So I was about to say, on paper, they look great, but I'm
Watch the
saying when
game.
it comes to the wins and winning a series and winning
Yeah.
4 out of 7, it doesn't. It just
Well,
I'm
doesn't.
not
Yeah,
gonna
I
lie.
exactly.
understand.
Coming to the
Jay,
playoffs,
not gonna
it don't
lie.
work.
Joel Embiid kind of stole the MVP. I'm gonna be serious, because he technically stat padded this whole season. Because that
Yeah,
team
that's
really
why the
wasn't that
MVP thing,
good
I
this
don't
whole
even use
season.
that when it comes to talking about realness of the
Watching the
NBA.
game, I was like, yo, he's really not changing their team, because they're literally doing the same exact thing. All he's doing is he's getting his points. And all they did was like, okay, they was winning
Yeah,
games, but it was only because they were, when the moments that they wanted to play as a team, they played as a team. And then there was moments where it would be like a whole quarter or so where it was just Joel Embiid by himself, just doing. And I mean, it's just him not
yeah.
passing the
No
ball.
Embiid
It's just
I,
stuff.
him just doing just Joel Embiid stuff.
Flop.
Yeah, I feel like the MVPs, whether it be the NFL or NBA, I feel like the only real MVP that's really holds weight anymore, I would say, is the Heisman Award, because you can win a Heisman without having the best numbers. Because you could go to Ball State University and put up 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, and they'll be like, "Well, you played nobody." And then the guy who was the Heisman is the guy who only had like 2,500, but he put up 300 against Alabama's defense. So everybody was like, "Oh, that was your Heisman
Yeah,
game."
because
But
back in
like
the day,
NFL and
they
NBA,
used to go
the
to the
MVP award
best
is
player on the
starting to lose
best
a little
team.
bit of weight
Then you
now
say
because now
who
it's
was
just
the best
becoming a
player in the
numbers thing.
league,
And it's like,
and now
I don't
it's
really
it,
hold it.
honestly
And like you
since the
said,
Russell
he kind of
Westbrook
stole it because it's like you can't
MVP
give
when
it
he
to
averaged a triple
Jokic.
double, and there was
And then
like
it's
three
like also a
championships in the
weird thing
West
where it's
when
like
he
as
got
soon as the guy
MVP.
wins his
That was the
MVP,
first
then
time
he
ever
goes
like
and gets his
someone that
ring.
was like
So
his
that's
first
also
It's
what's
time
about
happening
ever
too.
levels.
I've
to
noticed.
win the
Like
MVP in
Steph,
that
I feel
'06
like
he got
Steph was the
dope,
last
but
guy.
like normally we saw
It's
the Steve Nashes of the
yeah,
world where they got the
Because it's
MVPs and
about
they failed in the
levels.
playoffs and shit like that. But now you can literally there's like 15 players averaging 30 now. They ain't used to be like that. Is it about the game? Is it the wins, or is it just your stats?
But that's the thing. It's like it's about who impacts that game more. Like like Russell, his MVP was like, yo, because it was something you've never seen before. Yes, that team wasn't the best team. We get that. But Russell, he was the best player of the league. And that's what, like, I respect that MVP more, a little bit more, because I'm like, yo, that team wasn't good at all. They weren't the best team at all. But my man's Russell was going out there, putting his basically giving Lily his 150% out there. Yes, to the point where he ended up averaging triple double. But you have to look at that team. My man was putting in so much work, that MVP, he deserved it. Nobody else really deserved the MVP more than him of all the work that he was putting on the court. So that's why I'm always like, yo, I don't. That's why I kind of go back and forth with you, Rouse, because it's like it's never about the. To me, it's not about the numbers. It's about the game of how the game is being played. And when you the best player and you actually showing it, the numbers don't always gonna have the numbers aren't always gonna show who the best player is. It's about who's on the court and you see it when you see it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, Embiid has stole it, but I feel like Joker should have took it this year.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's move. Let's talk
Yeah.
a little bit about Monty, and then we'll move on. Let's talk about him and hiring Detroit. No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to because we went from Doc and now we going straight into Russ, and I could
That's
go
That's
hours about my boy Russ,
Brody.
but yeah, that's my boy. That was my boy. He was one of the only players that had me rooting for a team, one specific team in the NBA for a certain amount of time. Like outside of that, his time with the Thunder, that was the only time I ever rooted for just one team in the NBA. So
the coaching didn't
go ahead.
wasn't trying to like coach to his play style. They really were trying to get him to play out of his play style. And when he got traded to the Clippers, he was able to beat Russ, and he really kind of showed you like what he could still do. So he's, Russell, you gonna get you at the end of the day. He gonna play hard. He might have some turnover, but he gonna give you that energy. He gonna give you that effort. So shout out Russ.
He's all as long as you give the energy and opportunities, Russell Westbrook will be Russell Westbrook.
I'm about to say when they finally gave him the chance to play his play style, they traded him away, which was I was blown about it. I was 100% done with it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Imagine, did they get Shy when they traded him?
No, they traded him.
No,
the Gilius Alexander dude. Did they get him?
They traded Paul George.
Wow. So imagine him with Russ.
No,
possibly something different. It would have been a little bit
you
weird.
Talking about when Russ went to the Lakers?
No. You're saying when they traded? What were you saying when you said they traded him? What team?
Used Russ the right way. They traded him to the Clippers.
Oh, the Lakers. I thought you were talking about the Thunder. Because I was about okay. Yeah, that is weird too. That was kind of like, bro, you finally got him on track, but it is what it is.
And doing the right, like he's doing what you want him to do. Yeah,
and he's accepting the role. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
he's open to it. Yeah, but hey, it got you Hachi, and hey, he balled out. So yeah, Monty's
my man
over here in the D. That man's over here. How you guys feeling about that move?
He got to throw in the buff, so it's not official.
Yeah, he got thrown
in the official homecoming.
You said it's not official?
Welcome to Detroit.
He's the Suns' Mark Jackson's, in a way, if you really look at it. The Suns were not good. They were not considered good.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Get to the play-in.
Okay, well, I think when I hear the comparison to Mark Jackson, I think of like something built. And it's different because Mark Jackson had them drafted. KD and Chris Paul came over there.
Where were they?
That's why it's looking.
Monty ain't Mark Jackson. Because they ain't about to win no chip next year.
No.
They ain't. When you say Mark Jackson, you telling me you can replace him with anybody, and then that team is going to win. That's what comes to my mind. Yeah,
wait, has Phoenix even replaced him yet?
That's when I said,
oh, hell
that's when everybody was like, well, they got a good coach. He ain't Monty.
You got to be kidding me.
Fucking downgrade. Frank Vogel ain't did shit.
What in the world?
They
hired Frank Vogel.
He did.
He didn't even have to do nothing in the bubble. It's LeBron. When you putting LeBron in a bubble is just easy. It's like, that's easy for him.
The bubble was literally...
That team could have coached himself. All Bubbles teams could have coached themselves at some point because there's no distractions. All you have to do is work on teammate chemistry. Every team in the bubble could have just coached themselves.
It forces you to do chemistry. You have to be team.
Exactly. Compared to when you're out, where it's like, oh, as soon as we're done with practice, I go here, you go that way, I go this way, you go that way. Some of us go to the club, some of us go out to dinner, some of us do that. No, in the bubble, we all eat it. We're in boarding
Nobody
school.
traveling.
We in boarding school, bro. We all go to lunch at the same time.
Exactly.
We all
And
eat at the
Guess what?
same
everybody fresh.
dinner
You don't
table.
have to
Come
get
on
on the. You don't have to
now.
get on the
They
plane
didn't
and
need to.
travel.
You don't need no
You ain't
coach in
got
the
to worry
bubble.
about this. Everybody's fresh.
Exactly. You don't have to get on the plane and isolate because
Yeah.
when you're on the plane, everybody gets their headphones on, they isolate. So no, y'all are literally
Bro,
all in the same hallway. Y'all
literally-
walk to the
These
practice
niggas
together.
had a
You walk
summer
here
break
together. You're doing everything.
and went from 8th grade to 9th. Well, they went from 9th grade to 10th grade. That's
I'm gonna be
basically how it
honest
was.
with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love for summer league to be that, where it's like they go to Orlando, and it kind of is like that now. But I'm saying like it's more of a bubble thing where they can't leave. But
Yeah.
that would players would be, oh, I'm restricted. I don't want But it would just be cool because
Yeah.
it's like it does show a different type of game.
I
Y'all
like
play
the summer
different
league,
when
but
y'all
it'd
do
be
that.
all them
When you're
like
isolated.
ain't no. I think I love how this is getting this weighing off a topic again, but I saw a video where there was like the most so right now in like most recognized people in like basketball world, really in basketball world is the like Angel Reese and Flage and the women of collegians, right? And it's like if you think about it,
Mhm.
there's no stars in the on the male side, college wise, where you're like, oh man, I need to go see them, da da da. Because the last person you had was Zion, and me being a huge basketball fan, I can't tell you who about to
I
get
heard
drafted
something
other
about
than Wimbyama because they keep
Scoop.
talking about him.
Maybe.
But
I could say
but
Paulo was
we're talking about
close,
There's
but I
rumors
felt like
about
if he
like
stayed one more
Bam,
like
year, he could
you
have had
know
that
who
there's
they
some
like.
effect.
Melo,
You
D-Wade,
know them.
Ron.
Like I know Flage and I know Angel Reese. I watch the tournament? No, but I turned into the championship just to see if they how good they were. And it's like the next superstar coming up collegiate wise is Bronny James, and he ain't even played a lick.
The past, I can't name one player off the past three champions in
Can't name
men's.
player.
Who won this year? UConn. Can't name a player. Last year, Kansas won. Can't name a player.
That's
The
what
year
I'm
before
saying.
that, Baylor won. Can't name a
There's
player.
nobody you
I don't know
know
about
that
the other year
like.
before that.
Guess what?
But
Unless you won the championship this year, South Carolina won the championship the year before that, and I know a couple
we
girls
know
from
them.
them,
Yeah,
and it's like,
I can't go
yo,
before that.
like, and even guess what, Paige. Okay, I'd be messing up her last name, but I just call her Paige. Yeah, she's in UConn.
Buchner, something like that. Yeah,
And I'm
she's
like, yo,
she'll be back this year.
how do we all know these females' names on the women? Even though everybody sit here and claim they don't watch the WNBA, but we know all their names, but we don't know nobody name really coming out the mirror.
Because the college has to grow before the professional can. If we go back, and it's different now because in men's sports it's been so long, but I bet you we could go back in history and people were probably talking more about
Yeah,
NCAA
but I'm
sports
saying
than they were
players, we know the
professional.
women more than men.
There was a time where college, you knew Jim Brown because he played for Syracuse. Then you knew his NFL career. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you knew the players at college first, and then it's a little bit different. The game is different. Even within the NFL, the game is getting a little bit different. Where it's like, oh, some of these guys you don't really know them until they get to the NFL. The NBA, it's
once
nowhere
he's
near
in the
that. It's
NBA,
like you know him once
not
he's in
even
the
once he's in the
NBA.
NBA, after he have like a breakout game, we're like, okay,
Yeah. College basketball is
and
really
that's on
it's
the and I'm
unfortunate,
saying
but it's
that's only
starting
on
to
the men's
go
side though, and that's what's
down
crazy.
down
Because
the
on the
drain.
women's side, it's skyrocketing.
Yeah.
We got superstars all over the place. Caitlin Clark.
Because the fact that that's one thing too. In the NFL, I mean in the NBA, I can't get it right. All these N's. All right, the NCAA men's, the NIL deals are not going to be the same amount of money an NFL player can make. But in women's basketball, an NBA player can make. But in women's basketball, a college player can make NIL
Yeah,
money more than the WNBA. Angel Reese said it a
she
few weeks
making
ago. She
like
was like,
I think she
"I'm making
making
some more money than
1.4
some of these
million right
WNBA players." That's not going to happen. Exactly. That's not going to happen in the men's where a NCAA basketball player is making more
Yeah.
than an
Yeah.
all-star, or I would say, or someone of that same type of hyper caliber. They might be making more than like a bench rider on the NBA if they're that good in college, but on an average, you're not. So I think that's what it is too, as well. The money shift and the money difference is going to affect the popularity.
Well,
If
that's another
they're making the
conversation
same
for
amount of money,
another
it's going to
day,
be more
though.
popular.
That's another topic we got to talk about later. But just to get back to it, I think Monty is
Yep.
he's a great pickup for Detroit. That's what they needed. They needed a coach that's going to be youth driven, and they got some good players there. They just got to use the tools that they got. Like they need to actually have a system now. Because what the problem with Detroit was they were playing AAU ball, and that doesn't translate to the NBA. Because it's just a bunch of random dudes out there just running around hoping they could score. Detroit needed a system, and that's a great thing that Monty Williams brings is a system, and that's going to play to their strengths. And it's a great pickup. I think his contract for 5 years, so they're going to be developed. And
Sheesh.
yeah, I'm about to say Kate
Yeah,
Cunningham,
him and
Marvin
Cunningham, and
Bagley.
I can't remember who else they.
Yep.
What's that
Jonathan
dude?
Stewart?
Is Sadiq Bey
Sadiq
there,
Yeah, I
Bey,
or
think.
did he
Marvin
leave?
Bagley there. They got another big dude. I can't remember his name right off the
Bagley,
top of
yep.
my head. It's gonna bother me later because he used to play for the Sacramento Kings. Giles, I want to say Giles is still there. I want to say he's still there, but we don't see them on TV. They ain't gonna be on TV for another year or two. Uh, they they hey man, that's how it is, man.
Who?
When you're up and coming teams like Detroit, the Kings should be on TV next year.
Orlando.
Orlando, Houston, uh, these OKC teams that you barely see on TV. Some
I
of
would
these
love
teams
to see
you gotta
more
just go. You
OKC
have to tune into
games
some of their
so
games
I can
just to
see
go look at them because
that boy Gil could.
I would love to too. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see more Orlando. I want to see Orlando try to
I'm
get a
about to
good
say
forward
next year you'll
to
probably
kind of
see more
match with
Kings
Bankero
games,
or another
and you're
guard
probably
or
gonna see more
something.
OKC games on TV, and you might get a decrease. Actually, you might get an increase of Atlanta Hawks games, but they might decrease those though because they really stay in like that minimal. Like usually, it ain't that many games that they get on TV either. But since they're not really on the up and coming, they kind of stagnant right now. They might get decreased. But because the Kings just got into the playoffs and OKC had that great showing, they probably gonna get more TV time. Because
I ain't
that
gonna
was
hold.
that was my huh?
I think Houston's gonna be on a nice come up too next year.
It depends on who they pick up. It
Oh
depends
yeah,
on who they pick
you've
up.
been saying that this year. That
Oh,
is true. I can see that.
ain't
Yeah,
messing
we'll
around.
we'll
You
get
know
more into
Spurs
that during the
Spurs like
draft
to
and
get more
free
playing
agency
time.
to see who
Yeah,
gets on there.
yeah. They're gonna get
Oh
more
yeah,
playing time.
obviously because of the
And it all
that's
depends
true.
too. If Zion comes back, New Orleans will get more playing time, get more airtime. But since we don't know if Zion's going to be healthy and coming back, they're probably going to get less TV time.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Anybody got anything else to say about
I
Monty
like him in
before
Detroit. I
we
think Detroit's gonna
He
pivot
be a
out of
gotta
nice
throw
basketball
on the
real quick?
coming out
bus.
that way too. I don't know about making out going directly play in, but I think they got an honest chance to be in the play in AC. Swear to God, I like Monty Williams a lot.
Okay. Yeah, coming out the East. Yeah, coming out the East, we'll have to see. Because Toronto's going to be in a new system, so they
Yeah,
might
they're
not
gonna
be
be
as
coming
good, you know?
down. Do we
And,
really believe in the Knicks?
yeah, so that might open up an
We can
extra
Oh
argue
spot.
yeah,
Chicago for
Chicago.
coming up. Yeah, Indiana,
Chicago, what's going on with
Brooklyn. That's another
Chicago?
one.
Yeah,
Is they gonna be able to go for it?
we'll have to see.
Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, Brooklyn will fall back down. So, yeah, that opens up like 2 to 3 possible spots. I would say 2 definite spots that'll drop would be
I won't
Brooklyn's
lie.
and what's the other team? Toronto
You
spots
got
would
hold
open
up,
up for
and it's the
for
third spot that's
possibly
gonna
an
open up too.
Orlando or
I think
Detroit.
open it up is gonna be Atlanta. Atlanta spot's gonna
I ain't
start.
gonna. I'm not saying I am by no way mean the shape
We'll
or
see.
form saying Milwaukee's gonna fall out. But do I think they're gonna be coming down right number one again next year? I don't think we'll see that
No,
next
they're
year.
gonna be top four. Top four.
No,
Okay, okay.
no. We're
I
only
just think
talking
that.
about
Yeah. Okay.
falling out
Okay.
like
Better.
not even playing. Yeah, we talking about bottom tier.
Oh,
Yeah, we ain't talking about like,
the
oh, you
Miami
dropped from
Heat
the
is
1 to
gonna
the
be in
4.
there.
Like, we don't care about that.
The Miami Heat. Be in there.
Yeah,
They
I'm
never
talking
gonna
about
be. They
falling
never
off
get a
like
chance.
you not even in the plan. We ain't even worry about you. I'm talking about like 11, 12, 13, 14 seed. Like that's what I'm talking about, falling out. All right. So yeah, we're gonna pivot out of basketball for a minute, then we're gonna
Okay,
come back
Trey
and talk a
Job
little
with
bit
the
about
stick.
4K job. um but we're gonna pivot out of yes, sir, yes, sir. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about wrestling.
Woo-wee.
Najee is the connoisseur of
Playboy
wrestling,
Troy,
and
this is another
he's gonna give
opportunity
us
to
a little
plug
bit of
your
spiel. So go
podcast. So
ahead and
take it
I'm
home,
gonna
brother.
get this up on the screen for us.
Hold on. I'm gonna put y'all on real quick. So your boy Playboy Troy, he's in. I love to talk the basketball. I love to talk that football, and I'm not talking about American football. I'm talking about American, and I'm talking about the international football. But guess what? Something that's all around the world. That guess what? It's in America, Mexico. It's in South America. It's in Europe. It's in Australia. It's in Japan. We talking about pro wrestling right now. Hey, your boy Playboy Troy, he cooking up another podcast in the kitchen. We just gonna be talking about straight wrestling. Y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna be plugging that later on. But right now, I got the wrestling match of the week. Y'all need to go check out. Listen here, these boys on NXT Battleground. NXT is on Tuesday night and on USA 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. They've been cooking up in there. This ain't the old NXT that y'all used to. It's the new NXT. That right now, the match of the week that I say y'all need to go check out is Ilya Dragunov taking on Dijak in a last man standing match. Listen here, they got a great story. It got some violence in there. It got some straight up professional wrestling that you should check out. For the casuals who don't even watch wrestling, this is a way that you could get into wrestling. It's something. It's something for everybody. It got the emotions and everything. Listen here. At the match ain't even begin yet. I'm gonna just give you a little quick spoiler, real quick. My man Dijak came out in his entrance and he told his wife and his kids, take them to the back. They don't need to see this match. So I'm
Has
telling
the
you,
wife,
you
has
need
the
to go watch
kid.
it. I'm telling you.
Oh shit! I'm as a casual. I'm gonna just hate it. As a casual, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
out on a limb. I feel
Dragunov took
like
my man
what's
in
his
the
name? You
blonde
said
hair.
Dragonoff.
Yeah.
That's definitely the dude on the left. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm
They
about to say I already know
they
that
call
that's
you know what
that
they
name
call him in the
itself. He looked
streets?
like
The
Jokic,
Mad
so it's like I'm
Russian.
already
That's
assuming
what
that
they
that's that
call him.
what? Yeah,
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 my man,
that
he's
Eastern
about that
European. I
life.
already know.
But Dijak,
Okay,
he's about that life too. And guess what? Dijak?
what's Buddy on the right? You said Bijak,
No, I want to say,
Dijak. I don't even know what that
he's
is.
from America, but his family's from the Europeans. But hey, my man Drogonoff,
Yeah, they
Alex
sell
Drogonoff
jewelry.
said,
I know.
he said, pain brings him to life. And my man Dijak responded and said, he said, pain makes you feel alive. Well, get ready to feel immortal. I'm telling y'all, go check it out. NXT Battleground just happened last weekend on Memorial Day weekend. Hey, last man standing. And that's from your boy Playboy Troy with the match of the week. Hey, yo, Massey, take control. You
Okay,
you
okay.
can find it
Where
on
can they find it?
Peacock, man.
Where can they
But
find that at?
exclusive, it's already been on
Peacock. What
Peacock.
time?
It already happened.
Oh, it says it right there. Yeah, yeah,
But you
May
can catch the
28th. Yeah. Oh, it
replay.
says Peacock
And
at the bottom. I see
even
it.
if you
Okay.
want to just catch the highlights,
Yeah.
it's on YouTube. And I'm telling you, once you get a glance of this match, you're gonna be wanting a little bit more. You're gonna want to see what's going on. Guess what? Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific on USA NXT. Go check it out. My boy the Mad Russian, he'll be back this week. Guess what? Massey, go ahead, take control. Where we going next?
Okay. 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 I'm gonna go straight into the goal of the week, and then we'll hop back into basketball. I'm gonna hop into the goal of the week. This was from the Premier League ended like I think last week was the last week of it, and Manchester City played against Brighton, and Manchester City's been on a hot streak. They finished the Premier League title. They won the FA Cup, which is kind of like it's the regional cup that all of the professional teams in England at the top levels kind of compete. So they handled that and they beat their rival Manchester United to get that cup final. So they've won the Premier League title, won the FA Cup, and then this week they'll be playing in the Champions League final against either Milan or Inter Milan. I can't remember. I think it's Inter Milan. The Yeah, that team. They got the brother that's dating Meg the Stallion. I forgot his name. Lukaku. Yeah. So they'll be playing against them this weekend, possibly winning that. So they'll have like they'll basically be getting 3 trophies in like the same month, which is just a huge accomplishment. But this goal that got put on them was really, really, really nice. And we're gonna take a look at it. This dude's name is Ciso. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but we'll watch it here. Let's see. He just
And shout out Meg Thee Stallion, man.
there
R.I.P.
goes
Pound
that
Sports
man.
fans. You want to say that? R.I.P. to
Yes,
that
yes,
boy.
yes. So yeah, that's my goal of the week, guys. Just wanted to throw that in there before we transition back over to our boy Folk Hey Trey Ja. Tisk. This week, I'm sitting there watching game 1 of the finals. This is right before it started to get blown out, and I cut it off because we don't watch blowouts over here. And I'm looking at the bottom of the ticker, and it's saying Adam Silver or NBA or whoever will make a decision on John Morant after the finals. And then the next sentence is they don't want to draw attention away. And my instant thought is, oh, they about to go crazy. If that's what they say. Because usually the NBA, throughout Ja's whole instances, they weren't waiting to drop no news. They were dropping it when it happened. So it's like if they, the suspension came almost immediately after the first series of events that happened with the gun, the 8-game suspension. So I'm like, if they gonna have to wait for this one, it's got to be something even crazier than this. So
Yeah,
I just
he
want to
in
see how do y'all
trouble.
feel
And
about that? Do y'all feel the same
honestly,
way? Do you agree? Disagree? Talk to me.
if you allow me to go ahead and take the handle on this bit first, real quick. I don't want to see the man miss out on the whole year of basketball on the whole suspension. I ain't trying to see that tip. But if you were to give the man 40-some games and he says, for my mental health and safety, I don't want to play basketball till I get it right, I am completely with that. I would love to see that. But now, my only concern
He's a
is
liar.
when Adam Silver went up to the podium and he was talking about finding additional information in their investigation. Now the question is, what the hell did you find? Y'all want to tell us now? That means y'all know something that we don't know in the media. Everything that has came out, there's something else out there we don't fucking know. I'm concerned about that.
Listen here.
Hey, man. Say,
Ja,
man. As the Memphis players like to say, okay, Ja about to get the hammer.
It's messed up, man.
Ja is hey, listen here. Ja ain't missing the whole season,
Might as well.
but he might as well. Cause he no. Cause I'm saying
Hell no.
I'm saying at the least, based off of what Adam Silver has said, they like DJ Rose said, they found additional information. As time has been going on, out of this whole entire time, all this has been going on, information has been dropped. More information has been dropped, more and more and more. But the fact that he's like, there's additional information that the media hasn't seen, the public haven't seen, that makes me go, okay, Ja has been in extracurricular activity outside of NBA that nobody.
Don't sugarcoat it like he
Yeah,
extracurricular, bro.
yeah.
This is
My
not high
boy
school.
Folk
He been
He
Hey
been
doing
in
the
them
Ja
dirty
with
work.
the
streets.
That's all I'm
shooters.
saying. He been doing because
He in
everyone
the
knows
trenches.
the
That
eyes
boy,
are
man.
always
He
on
been
Ja.
outside. That
The
man
eyes
said
are
he the
on
parade.
the
He said
eyes are
I'm
on
the
the NBA
parade,
players,
bro. What you mean?
and that means he must have been doing something
Facts.
that the eyes couldn't see. So it must have been some phone calls being made. Oh, I'm assuming.
Oh well, let's not assume it's phone calls. And I no, I think they
No,
do
I'm
know
gonna
it. I
say it
think
because
that
we living in a
how
time
do I put this?
that's that's surviving off of social media, basically. So anything you telling me you see John
Bro,
Moran in the street, you ain't pulling
it's
out your phone?
it's whatnot.
Me personally, I'm not.
Me personally, no. Because I ran into Chris Bosh and I didn't pull out my phone. I just said, "Hey, that's Chris Bosh," and he just kept he gave me the nod, and I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So it's like, nah, I don't always pull out the phone when I see like somebody like that.
He was literally golfing. He was golfing with his dad.
Oh yeah, Mark Jackson was right next to us. Yeah, I forgot about that. He was literally not bowling. What were we doing? We were golfing, top golf. He was right next to us. He was with his people. And that's an obvious sign. That's an obvious sign of not wanting to do that. When you see him with their people, that's when you definitely know. And I saw Chris Bosh with like his lady or something, like,
But
either way, you still don't want to like,
Speaking on
John
that,
Morant is in that spotlight of downfall.
Man, No Chill Gill out there, bro. They ain't. You know what I'm saying? I was listening. I've been listening to a lot.
Hey, they ain't paying us. Don't be shouting out other podcasts.
Exactly.
But check this out though. Like, especially we talking about this age of social media, cameras out the IG.
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead, bro.
We just know. We only claim to say we just know the one friend that we say that we know the name of that was with him with IG Live and was also in one of the cars that was with him with that laser tip and all that. He got banned, not the rest of the other people in tip. But this is the thing though. When you actually look at this, it's an actual possibility. One of these people might be trying like. I would not be surprised if 4 or 5 years down the road we hear about a blackmail that this man had to like pay that tip out and that shit gets to elite. I won't be surprised, bro.
Bro, ain't no blackmail.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, look at all the most famous leaders in our communities. They get sold out by our own people. So that's obviously something that I would not be surprised.
What's going on?
Or someone in another situation. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta pay you, so you don't leak this tip to get that out.
And that shit cost.
He might got blackmailed, but can we investigate John Morant?
I don't.
Cause, bro, ain't no way.
Part of the problem.
Bro, ain't no way you know your son in the NBA and you got problems in the public mall and you go, Ja, they up here talking trash. So what y'all supposed to come up with?
His dad
is he supposed to come up there and beat people up?
Where is mama?
That means you bad. His mama out here getting in fights with other people, then calling John Morant to handle the situation. That's why
putting a millionaire in a jeopardizing position. You millionaire, you fighting over
you fighting at the mall.
You could just go to another store. Or you
fighting at the volleyball game you fighting at the game that your sister playing in? Come on, bro. What you doing? You messing up your bag. But guess what? Your mama not being helpful, sitting there, your daddy sitting there being a cheerleader, sitting there high-fiving every celebrity and just being happy to take a picture with everybody, and your mama sitting there in any public place calling you about any little, like, yo.
You gotta remember, these folks from the country, bro. We gotta remember, like, come on, let's not act like we didn't grow up an hour away from where John Morant's from. Come on now, so we know how it is.
You don't. That's the last person you call, as of when there's a situation. That's usually when your first person you call when you broke, because they got money.
That's valid.
But that's gonna be the last person you know, because guess what? If my mama in trouble, she not about to call me. If I'm in the same city as her and be like, hey, Raji, somebody talking crazy to me. Guess what? She understand if I pull up and there's some problem and I come in there and escalate the problem, that's gonna mess up my bag. So my bag is a part of her bag. So that means I'm messing up her bag now.
We all in trouble.
If John Morant gets in trouble and messes up his bag, guess what? He's all in trouble. No, everybody family bag in trouble. So that's why I'm like, yo, I understand we grew up down the street from him, but still, yo, that means we all got to understand. We all got that same understanding. If one person make it out on top, we gonna come up with.
We gotta let go and let him go.
But if we gonna drag him down,
let him go so you can be able to
guess what? We all going down.
Yeah, there's something that I heard. There's something that I've heard throughout the situation. I think I might have told Rouse this like a week and a half ago when we talked about this. Like, there's certain because I think this is also not just true for Ja, but other people that have reached a certain amount of success. There are certain people that reach a certain amount of money and that put it aside and say, "Oh, I've gotten this amount. Okay, if this is all I need to live, if I'm smart enough with my money, I don't need any more. now I can just do whatever I want. There's certain people that live like that to where they make a certain amount of money. They're not worried about making any more because they know they can live off of what they have now. And that's whether if they're smart or not. That's a whole different conversation, whether or not they're smart or not with it. And then once they get into that mindset, they'll start making decisions to where they don't really care if not whether they make any extra money off of that because they know they have reached their cap limit of what they want. So we got to take that into consideration. There are certain people that do live like that. It's not the smartest thing to do because you never want to live like that. You always want to continuously grow your wealth. But there's certain people we could say that's a possibility. Some people like to live like that. So who knows? Maybe they're in that mindset. Maybe they sat down with their accountant and the accountant said, you guys are good with this amount of money right here for the rest of y'all lives. Y'all are good with this amount right here that we put away to the side. And some people just take that and just start living however they want to do. And then living like, oh, I don't need to worry about, if I don't get picked up for another contract, whatever, it's all good. We got this money. So some people live like that. And it's not just,
okay, 3 years, career contract up, nobody trying to pick you up, so I hope you manage your money well. You know what I'm saying? But in this case with Ja, if that's the case and he says I made enough, I'm good.
Yeah, and there's some people that do. They manage that money well and they stretch it.
Money we're doing this because this when you say you're holding up the church's money because it's your money, you the pastor of the church. Because this is the thing.
Holding up the church's money.
If you continue, if you would continue to be,
no, I'm just laughing at it, bro. You good? You good?
Go down,
not the church. Not
I don't know if we should put a basketball player on that level. Yeah, I don't know if we should put a basketball player level on that type of level, bro.
He's
the bag winner. He's the
yeah. How you gonna compare Ja Morant to the pastor?
You my dad.
Well, that don't make no sense.
Y'all come with me. I'm gonna make sure we all eat. We good. This is our place of salvation. I'm doing this for us. But if you doing it for others, you gotta make sure you straight. And this the tip though. If you gonna continue to be in the NBA and say you don't want to do it, you got enough money, you good. You're in danger because you continue to broach the NBA contract with the fact that the CBA, the union, is siding with Adam Silver on this tip. So now you have no backup on this to stand on. You know the NBA can come after him for every last dollar for conduct detrimental. That's all they need is someone to say that.
Ja Morant is probably
regardless of the case, if you want to try and sue it in court, have at it. But just know you're gonna be
yeah, but not take all. Yeah, I get what you're saying because you mentioned that.
$2 billion. You're gonna be burning through it. Just to pay, have to give them folks back the money.
He gonna be suspended for at least. All right, the least. What? Okay, here's a question. What do you think is the minimum games he will be suspended?
Before
I'll let everybody else go first.
Based on what y'all was saying, it's all about mindset. When you in that position, it's like you either gonna be Ja Morant or you gonna be Chad Ochocinco. You make the decision. But go ahead.
I ain't gonna hold. Let's be real. I didn't never like the whole 8-game suspension.
Yeah, who wants to throw their minimum? Really 2 games. Who wants to throw that out there?
Miss another 2 and say, okay, now
give me a number, bro.
Make it look better. So I would not be surprised because of the way that Adam Silver voiced his words, being a lawyer, a former lawyer that he is and shit, that he would give them boys like 40 games if the CBA would say that's the max with their agreement that they'll go with. I could see that. I said 40. I could see 40.
So what's the number? What's the number, Rose? 40? Okay. Truly?
I ain't gonna lie, Rose took my number. I was gonna say 42. 40 as well.
Oh, that's okay. Jamel?
So over
thinking
under?
over 2.
Over 40? I'm gonna say over 40.
Okay. Okay.
There's no number. And here's why. There's no number. Because this is what I think is going to happen. They're going to say he cannot come back until he's done the work. And that would be then that they'll have a list of things that he has to do. Kind of similar to the Kyrie situation. I'm not comparing the situations. I'm just saying what they're the consequences. Yes, the style of the consequence. It's not going to be games. It's going to be, this is what we need out of you first. And then we'll let you come back. And I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to have a specific amount of games. I think they're going to go off they don't want to just give you games because they want to make you change. They want to change kind of his behavior more than just suspending him and not paying him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the route they'll go. And me personally, I have my own opinions about what I think should happen. I think Josh should take the time and go get the mental help that he needs. This is more than just like, oh, he needs to stop doing this, stop doing that. I think the man really needs some help. I don't think the NBA is really going to take that seriously because the PR stunt with the rehab center and the
I
8
think
game suspension, that was all just a PR stunt to get things out the way. Because let's be honest, they knew about all these things before. It's just once they got caught, they decided to do something about it. So, because that happens a lot of Yeah. I was, you know what I was going to do, Najee? I was going to let him say that, and I was going to say some funny shit. But yeah, thank you for that though, because I'm like, damn, can't even do my little thing. It's all good though. But yeah, I just think that he needs to go get help himself because I don't think the NBA truly, the NBA cares more about their image more than they care about his mental health. That's one thing I'm learning through this situation is they care more about their image because if they knew about all these things before it got out, they would have actually made sure he's okay instead of just trying to protect their own image. So that's why I feel like it's not going to be a game thing. It's going to be more of we want to rebrand your image of how you're viewed in the society. So we need you to do these types of things throughout the summer, throughout the season, throughout all these things. That's why they're more worried about the image than they are because they still want to make money off them because if you suspend them for 40 games, nobody's watching Memphis. Nobody's going to the games. Let's just be honest. So it's like, now they're losing money if they suspend him because he is that type of player that brings in the views, brings in the eyes. So if they just make him do those things and say, rebrand your image, do that, yada, 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 we can get the money. We'll be good. We'll still make our money. Our brand won't be tarnished as this place that just accepts this type of behavior. So that's what I think. And then the worst part is at the end of the day, Ja doesn't really go get the help he needs. So
my thought
that's
of
the
it
worst part
was
about
the
it.
suspension. I agree with Mel because I thought about that too. Because in my mind, I kept saying they're going to send him to therapy. But my problem with that is the therapy is going to be on what? What his mental health? Yeah.
It's going to be their therapist. The therapist is a doctor for the brain. So when they have these players that get hurt, they send you to the team doctor.
Yeah.
So they're just going to send you to the guy that they want you to be like, oh, he's good to go now. He's good. I gave him this. He's good to go. They're going to do the same thing with therapy.
Say the therapy helps his mental health, right? But what people don't understand is, well, not saying people don't understand, but it's like he goes to that therapy or he goes to a therapy group or whatever. Like they send him off to an actual therapy retreat, right? He gets back on that road and he gets back around in that open environment kind of situation. Those choices will be back on him again. Because therapy is kind of like, it's basically like you riding a bike with train. It's like if you rode a bike without training wheels for so long, and then all somebody puts you on the training wheels again, and then you're like, "You want me to ride the bike with the training wheels?" Yes. We have to retrain you to ride the bike the right way with the training wheels on. So then it's like once he gets back out there, yes, on paper, the therapy should work. He shouldn't be doing that stuff again. He knows he learned his lesson. Da 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 da. He's good. But I always look at it of what if that therapy doesn't work?
Okay, and now I'll tell you why it's not going to work. Because first thing you said is they sent him there. When you get sent to therapy, it's not going to work. You have to decide for yourself that you were going to go. When I'll get a little bit vulnerable right here, real quickly. Yeah, a few years ago, my mom suggested me going to a therapist. I rejected it because I want to say she forced me, but she heavily requested that I go, and I tried it out and I hated it. It wasn't until this past year where I've actually wanted to go to therapy, and now things are better when I'm consistent with the therapy sessions. I'm putting in the work. So I feel like the therapist has to be the therapist that Ja selects, that he wants, not just what the team says he needs to go do. Because that's not going to do anything for it. It's not going to work. It would only work if that's the therapist he wants to do, that he wants to do.
Like athletes usually work, right? So You have your team doctor, then it's your actual doctor. So majority of the time when somebody gets hurt, and I only know this because of wrestling wise, right? When they need to get hurt, they have their doctor there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, yo, you're not clear. Okay, cool. Then they do their own therapy. Then they go to their own doctor. Then their doctor after a while
Gotta go
goes,
back to the
okay,
team
you're
doctor.
cleared. You're cleared to go. That doesn't mean that you're cleared to go because he said you're cleared to go. You still got to go to that team doctor.
Yeah. And it could be the other way around as well, where the team doctor's
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, you're good,
but that's the
yeah,
thing.
you're good. We need you for the playoffs," because the team is like, "Hey,
But
come on, rush it. What can you give them?"
usually your
But then your
personal
personal
doctor,
doctor's like, "Hey, bro, you are
and
not
your team
ready."
doctor, sometimes they talk to each other, sometimes they don't. But sometimes if the team knows that you're going to your personal therapist, you have to get a slip from them. Like you have to get they will give you a slip from the personal therapist saying, "Hey, he's good to go." Then the team doctor will do their own self evaluation, and then it's like a double check mark kind of situation. The final say comes from the team
Who has the
after,
final
but
say?
it comes from after the
Exactly.
personal.
Final say comes from the team doctor.
If the person says
Okay, but
no,
even if
then
the
the team
personal
doesn't
says no,
get
the
to
team
say
doctor still has the
because
final say.
it has to be a double. If you go into your own personal, you have like the personal gives the green, and then the team gives the actual
Okay.
green. It's like a chain of command kind of sort. When you can't, it's like if in your office, you can't just go, oh, I'm going on break. I'm going on vacation. You have to pass it to your immediate supervisor. Then he'll pass, and then go up from there. So it's kind of like that kind of situation.
And then they had to pass
So
it
it's
to
not like,
HR.
well, my personal doctor said I can't go, but the team said I'm good. No. The personal doctor knows you more because you selected him hand personally. So he understands you a little bit more on a deeper side. You're not just another number. You know what I'm saying? On the team side, you're kind of like just another number, but they kind of trying to look out for you, but they're looking out in the interest of the team. So yeah, the person will give him the thumbs up if he chooses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to remember this is a
Yep.
different organ as well. A therapist, the brain is a different organ. You can rehab. You can have
Yeah.
a timetable on your knee rehabbing, but your brain, there's no true timetable to that. To where it comes to healing from trauma or healing from poor decision making or impulsivity, those things take more time. So of course the team therapist is going to be like, "Hey, we need him on the court." So if he's, you know what I'm saying, we need him on the court. If this is something that takes a year to really get
See,
through,
that's the thing.
they not
The
gonna like
team's
that.
not
The
gonna be
team's
like
gonna be
that.
like, "Hey,
But
come on now, now that we
the
losing money,
league.
we can't have him out for
That's
that."
why I was like,
So
this is what we was talking about airtime, right? What's gonna happen is if Ja is suspended for half a season, right? Whatever. Not going to be on TV at basically the
mm-hmm.
only time they're
That's
going to be on
airtime.
TV is
Yep.
maybe they're only going to be on once or
Exactly.
twice, and the only people that's going
And
to be at
people aren't
those
gonna be
games
at them
are the
games.
diehard Grizzly fans or the fans of the team that's showing up. Yeah.
The
Or
Zach,
the team, or
the
like if the
dudes who
Lakers
was
is
there
coming
when
to
Zach
town, the Lakers
Randolph
fans
was
gonna
there
show up to
and
the game.
Gasol.
That's the only people that's gonna really show up to those games
Yeah.
as soon as we can.
Exactly.
I,
So
But
what
it's
you
like,
think Memphis thinking?
and
We
for
got to
that,
get him back on as soon as we can.
no,
The league wants him to clean his image up as soon as they can, and Memphis wants him back on the court as soon as they can. Both of them want him ASAP. They want everything cleared up
no,
ASAP as
I,
quickly as possible. They're not going to
I
actually care
disagree
about
with
the
that. 'Cause
long
I
term
genuinely,
effects
Adam
and work
Silver,
that he needs to
genuinely
put
cares
in with
about that
himself.
man Jaw. Because before this part,
No, he doesn't.
before,
He don't care about nothing
Nah, I
like
don't
that,
know.
bro.
I mean,
This white man do not
it's
care about black people like that
before
unless
this
they making them money.
interview,
Come on now.
there was another interview prior to this
Yeah,
before
let him
all
go.
this
Let him
stuff
go.
was
Let him
talking
go.
about.
Let him go.
And if you actually go and listen to the man speak on the whole situation with John Morant, nigga was like actually hurt the fact like, yeah, man, like he came to my office when we talked, and I genuinely believe that were going to be able to go down the right path. We still want to try and find that because it wasn't like no half-ass David Stern, like, oh, we just gonna throw the book at him. No, Adam Silver is a literally a player's commissioner. Everything that's been for a pro player, he's been pro about it. And so there's no real reason to doubt that when it comes from that man. Now you could doubt the owners, you could doubt the league itself, But from that man with the position that he has at that position, I genuinely believe that man wants to see John Morant win. That he had the season potential and he wants to see him to see himself and say that, hey, bro, if you want to,
Okay.
you can be this. But like you said, and we're gonna go back to the original. What the problem is with all this, I believe it's Memphis because they're the ones that said before the whole 8 games of coming suspension, like the NBA gave the letter out, but Memphis already did what it did. Said, "Oh, he's in the facility
Yeah, they
now,
they
so it's
faked
all
it.
good." They faked it. It was Memphis that covered it up, and the NBA ran with it because
Okay.
like, okay, if y'all say he's
Even
okay, we're gonna
if
take you at your
oh
No,
word.
it's the only reason. The only reason it happened.
okay, even if Adam Silver is that guy who does care about them, like you said, even if he is that guy, I don't believe it, but even let's just say he is. At the end of the day, his power only resides with how much everyone else approves of him. So he does have power, but let's not forget as well, he could
But
be
that's the
ousted
thing.
as well. If he
So
makes moves
kind of
that they don't like,
go
they could say,
to
"Oh, we don't want you in here no more."
Yeah,
Jaws' first 8 game
I
suspension.
just want to put
Like
that out there.
you got
That's
like
still something too.
Rose's on to a point, but you got to also think too. NBA is an organization, right? So like, how does the NBA look if the Grizzlies already sent him to rehab and they kind of already suspended him themselves? What was Adam Silver supposed to do? Put more games on there?
exactly.
So it was kind of like the Grizzlies fake it. I wouldn't say faked it, but they basically kind of
They
like
covered it up.
they basically saved Jaws, kind of saved his ass a little bit because it was like, okay, bro, this is what you need to do because it's like, bro, you just need to go to therapy, and we're gonna suspend you with air quotes. We're gonna suspend you because what Silver can't suspend you even more. That's messed up. If he suspends a guy that went to therapy, that's messed up. So we're gonna force his hand to suspend you, kinda, because really, what he was suspended 8 games, but he already sat out what 3 games?
6 of them.
He
He
already
sat
sat
out
out six
six of
of them.
them and basically was suspended 2, really,
And then
because he was bad but just didn't play.
when the letter came out, that was on a Tuesday, and he was able to play on that next week Monday. So it's like, or that next week Sunday, he was eligible to play again. So it's like, yo, they kind of played the game. They played the game right. Shout out to Grizzlies playing that game, but on the back end, Ja got away with it. He secretly got away with it, and it's just the fact that he fucked himself up even more by putting himself in the worst situation, in a more because you basically went to the principal office, lied to the principal right in his face, and said, "Yo, I'm not gonna spray graffiti on the wall no more." And then all of a sudden, you
Go
get
break the
you
man
you
car.
you broke into the school on camera. And actually, you ain't even breaking into the school. They just caught you on camera outside, running up on the window, spraying the window, and then running away. So what is that? You lied again. You lied double times. So yeah, John gonna probably. I hope. I hope that he do get a checklist of things. He gets the checklist and then suspension. I feel like he gets the checklist and he gets suspended. I feel like both of them will be makes it fair. I feel
Yes.
like that makes it right because to me,
Well,
no,
I
no,
think
no.
the checklist will
To
be
me, it feel
you
like
can't
that
come until
checklist
everything's done.
is
So I
kind of
think
like
that's the
it's
suspension
kind of
within
like when you
itself.
used to be at home and your mama used to leave you a chore list and they were like, you can't go out until it's done. And you rush to get
It
it all
said you
done.
can't go out until it's done.
Not
That felt like punishment.
because sometimes you rush to get it done and you ain't did it correctly. You just know, oh, I watched this and I went outside. I can go outside now. But you didn't watch. But all you did was, but
Exactly.
could you
So
knock it out
you
in one
still
month?
technically
That's
suspended until it's
or
done
you knock it out
correctly.
within 3 games. Is that really a real punishment?
No, nothing at all. It's really, and in
Like
terms for
that's
them
not
with
a real
Memphis, what they was
actual
trying to look
punishment.
at it like they was looking at it as rest for the playoffs until that's how they were trying to play it off, was at least 8 games,
It ain't
take it
gonna be a
off,
rest
and
for
then
the
be able to
playoffs if
back
the
off and be
Memphis
number
Grizzlies
two.
ain't in the playoffs.
Like, yeah, they was trying to make it play. They was trying to make a. They're like, oh, we could make a run this year. That's what the whole premise and mindset was going in down what y'all really need. Because honestly, being real with you guys, like Ja does need that. I won't say need the checklist from anyone else to issue. He needs a checklist from himself to say what he wants to do or where he wants to be. But
Yeah,
And
going
that's what
from
I
that,
wanted to
I
add.
feel like if
Yep.
Memphis feel as
Can
though that
Yep.
they can't make that investment or they don't want to actually invest in making this man's life better or doing it or setting up the organization to be better around him, maybe a better facility, practice facility. Give him some event shit to do where it's not you don't got a bunch of young guys in the team and then they just get practice over or we don't have practice today and we run through the city and we ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like talking
bro.
about like a
Send
lot of
that
these teams that they
motherfucker.
have camaraderie, you have things
Send
that
John
you could
Morant to
go through or
OKC,
things or people you could go to link up and say, hey, it's not always gotta be about basketball. It don't even have to be about the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It's about saying, hey, having somebody in that room in this stadium that could come to you and say, hey, bro, we could go do the X, Y, and Z that could actually benefit you to keep you off of doing the dumb board shit.
bro. Send that.
I think
Send.
at the end of the day,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
can I go? Y'all, yeah, I heard. At the end of the day, like Alvin Silver, he did his best. The Memphis Grizzlies as an organization try to, cover it up, try to get you back as soon as possible by doing the 8-game suspension with Quasi was 2 games. But at the end of the day, after all of that, Ja Morant got to look in the mirror and be like, he has to have that talk with himself and have that accountability with himself and be like, this isn't a person, this lifestyle that I'm portraying, the things that I'm glorifying, like it's not transitioning to me having a fulfilled life, a long lasting career. Because you can do the therapy, you could do the suspension, but if you're not trying to change in your heart, it's gonna keep happening. Because what happens when you get back, you did the checklist, did the suspended games, you get back, and you put back in that same situation to where you as a man got to make a decision on where, am I gonna keep
Where
going down this road, or I'm gonna really take that time to be the person that I need to be for our organization, for my family, and being an NBA player, just a professional. Point blank. Period. It got to start with him, and until that happen, it's gonna keep going this way.
down to
Yep.
basketball. So regardless, however you want to say you want to trade a nigga or wherever, it's gonna be the same. You can't bring the same. You got the same problems but different location. You got to address the issue, bro. It got to happen. Damn well, us knowing the media, we could talk about it till we turn blue in the face, bro. But till that man actually say he gonna put in the work for his own life and say that he want to find his happiness, whether it's in Memphis or it's not, there's nothing or nobody can say or do for that man till he says this is what he needs.
Yep. That's all that matters, man. Is he goes and gets right and gets the help he needs or wants, all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, whether you need it or not, is if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. So, or you're not going to receive it. So, all right, let's move on into the man himself has left Fox Sports Network, whatever you want to call it. He is out. He said
Um,
he's done after the finals. He's going to
um,
slide up out of there.
no,
That man Shannon's gone.
um,
Yes,
Savannah
sir.
I'm not
State
calling him that.
finest.
I'm not. He's not my uncle.
Club Shake.
He is not my uncle. No. But yeah, he's out of there, man. They've I think they said 6 or 7 years on the show. So collectively I probably watched maybe 1 or 2 years of it. I think probably like actual full length episodes. I think I watched maybe like I stopped watching maybe around the end of last year's finals. I watched a little bit during the NFL season, maybe, but yeah, I would say a little bit of the NFL season. But yeah, but then before that, I think I watched maybe like a full year or two of the episode of the shows like consistently. And yeah, they really had some really good, debates and stuff. Some days it would get a little bit bland, but after a while it would be like, okay, they're just talking
Patrick
about
Mahomes,
Baker
boy.
Mayfield, Tom Brady, LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys.
Dak
No, barely, barely,
trash.
barely. It would be like
Yeah,
Patrick
that'd be funny.
Mahomes
Yeah,
on Monday.
but
They'll
Patrick
talk
Mahomes,
about Patrick Mahomes on Monday because he played last night. That's it.
Cowboys.
But on a regular, all throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, LeBron,
The boys.
and the Cowboys. That's it. And that's when you know the show was really going downhill. It's like, come on now. Baker Mayfield. Like, I could understand you talk about LeBron. I could understand you talk about Tom Brady because they're both the GOATs. I could even understand the Cowboys because that's your team, Skip. But Baker Mayfield, what we talking about here? Y'all spent half an hour on this man. This man don't even have a team. Well, he's on the Bucks right now, but there was a point where the man was not even on a team, and y'all talking about this man.
Dang.
Yeah, it got that for me personally, that was the start of the downhill, and then of course those situations that happened throughout the NFL season were starting to really show me like, yeah, I really hope he leaves this, or I would look at him very differently. So, but and I just stopped watching the show because it made me uncomfortable to see that happen to him, to the point where I was also like, I hope he leaves because you
And I
shouldn't
think
be
that's
taking
what
that
he
on
got
national
fed up
TV
with
like that.
at the end of the day.
So
I think he was like going back and forth with Skip about especially football topics, and I played in the game, and a lot of times Skip was undermining him and
yeah,
insulting his intelligence, and it's like, Skip, you never played professional football at that level, and I think after a while, it just weighed on him, and he was like, I'm done.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Yeah, like you can have your opinion and you can disagree, but don't disrespect what I've done in the game. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, now they're seeing like, oh, he handled it with grace." Me personally, no. What you mean grace? You should have left the moment he disrespected you. If those were the actual reasons why you probably left, you should have just left right then and there. You don't need to handle it with grace because you're still getting bought out of the contract or whatever anyway. So it's like you should have just left then. You shouldn't have waited so long. You should have left right then to really send a message of this won't be tolerated. Because now a lot of people there could be arguments of, is that the reason why he left? Because that happened so long ago. It's like we assume, but it could be something else now. But if he had left, if he would have left right when it happened, that would have showed us, yep, that ain't tolerated.
So it's kind of like, and it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot
that's
of reports,
understandable too.
going around saying basically because you got to think when the show cranked up, Shannon wasn't that big, that wasn't that popular. He really wasn't. Like, yeah, you knew who he was, but he wasn't like
Yeah,
you didn't
he had a
believe
few
in him as
viral moments,
a
but
co-host
wasn't.
of a show. So like at that moment, you got to think as the show is going
Yeah,
on,
that's facts.
Shannon Sharpe has gotten bigger, like star power wise. Like people turn into that show to only see Shannon sometimes. Like you know who Skip was. You like I don't care how y'all feel. Not saying I don't care how y'all feel about him, but I don't care how there's certain people that way people feel about Skip. People hate him. Some people love him. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to get from Skip. I already know that. I know he's going to love Michael Jordan up and down the court. I know he's going to love Tom Brady. So anytime you're going to compare a player to the greatest of all time, to in his eyes, it's going to be Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. You already know what you're going to get. So that's why I'm like, all right, whatever, Skip. I want to hear. I might want to hear them just to debate sometimes, but I already knew Skip from ESPN. I already knew that. I didn't really know. I didn't know Shannon's view on it because really I was like, Shannon played football,
Yeah.
and all I knew was Shannon played football and he went to Savannah State. So it's kind of like I didn't know that much. I didn't know he knew a lot about basketball and a lot of other sports like that. So just to hear him talk about it, I'm like, okay, they really don't.
No, he be
Just
talking
them
Tom
two
Tom
sports. They
Brady. That
don't
what he
talk
be
about nothing
referenced,
else.
but he don't.
I've never heard them. I've never
I mean,
about what
They only
about
glance.
what outside of football and basketball. I've never heard
they
none of them
glance
talk
over
about
shit
nothing else
like
but football and
baseball or
basketball.
golf and
Hockey
stuff
or
like that.
baseball.
Tennis, track.
Glance over what? Name the sport. No,
Never.
never.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
For
glancing
they
over.
3
never bring
minutes,
it
and
as a
then guess what?
topic.
In that
It's
3
never,
minutes,
it's
they'll
never
say,
a
"I don't know
topic.
what
They
you're
just
about to
That
bring
talk
it
counts
up
as
in the
glancing
in the
over.
in the
so
topic
no, let's not
conversation.
serious. Nah.
Well, it's kind of like how we. It's kind of
They'll
like
bring it up
just
because it's
now
on Fox
the
Sports.
little the wrestling of the week. We glanced over wrestling. No. They not doing all the
Yeah.
sports.
But I'm saying like, let's not act like they was doing all the
No,
sports.
because
That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
saying
No,
that.
No, because you had said like sport and other sports like that. Because you said I didn't know he knew you said I didn't know
No,
he
I didn't
knew
know he knew
outside
all
of
because in my
football and other
mind,
sports
I
like that.
only
And I
knew
was
of
like,
Shannon
it was
as
only
to come
basketball.
on as a special guest to
That's
only
all
talk
he.
about football. So that's why I'm like, oh, they about to do a whole show with Shannon. What they just gonna talk
Yeah,
about football the whole entire time? But then I found out they talking about basketball too, and I'm like, oh, they talk about basketball too, because I'm a huge basketball fan. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down to talk about some basketball. They talk about baseball. They did talk about baseball though. I remember they did have some segments on baseball. Yeah,
the world
and
when the World
the
Series was up, and when like Aaron Judge was like close to breaking that record, they did bring it up.
or like the
And it was
cup.
like at the end
The
of the episode,
I'm
they'd be
not
like, "Do we think he'll break the record tonight?"
not
And they'll be like,
soccer,
"Oh, I think so."
not the soccer World Cup. I'm talking about
No, they
the
didn't talk about the
the
World Cup,
team the
and then the
national
World Cup
team
was on
for baseball
Fox. Oh, okay,
for
okay.
baseball when the countries
What's the other? Oh, Stanley Cup.
is that the baseball World Cup? Yeah, is that the actual title?
Oh, the baseball
I
World
think
Cup.
so. I think I remember that bit.
Is that what you're talking about? The
Yeah,
international teams?
they literally
Yeah,
had segments on that.
that's
That's the
probably
only way
what
I
it's
knew
called.
about
Yeah,
it.
that was like a few months ago because right, it was right when the season started.
Yeah, they was keeping track
Well,
of
yeah,
that, and
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
I was
oh,
watching
because
during the time.
I don't
That
watch
time I had
baseball
stopped
that
watching
much.
the show,
But hey,
but
shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
I tried to watch last night. Florida was playing.
Oh,
Florida was
what
playing
men's or
somebody
women?
because Florida's been really good in baseball the past decade. And I was like, oh, let me check in on my Gators. And I had it on for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, they still on the same
Men,
player. I said, I'm
was that
good. I
men's
was
or
like, yeah, I
women's?
realize. I now I remember why I stopped
Oh,
watching this.
thought
I
women's
stopped
would be
playing it
soccer.
as well. It gets boring.
Oh, I didn't know.
The women's would be
Some people
softball.
don't
Yeah,
say
women's
If
is
it
softball.
was softball, I
softball.
would have called it
Women's
softball.
baseball. I'm like, okay, but
I just messed.
yeah, they are. I know they are.
Oh, well, those
But
people
I
are
will
ignorant.
say the Little League
Oh yeah,
baseball tournament is
they be
lit.
going.
Is lit.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit more interesting. That'll be more interesting because it's more broad. That's why I love it when a sport is more than just like 30 teams that you're gonna know every single year. When you have the Little League baseball, it's gonna be this random team from the middle of
Hey yo,
Pennsylvania that could be
hey,
playing against the whole country of Haiti. You know what
I'm
I'm
not.
saying? It's like in every year it's like I don't think they really
I'm
had a
not.
lot of back
I'm
to
not
back
gonna lie.
champions. It's always a
COVID
new Little League
when
team
COVID
that's
happened,
good this
it
year.
whatever
Of
it
course you
sucked.
got
But on ESPN, it was putting on random sports that I ain't seen in like
NASCAR.
I was.
Oh yeah, bro. I was last night. I watched like 10 minutes of the Premier Lacrosse League. I was like, oh okay.
Yeah, I
I was
didn't
like,
even
all
know
right,
that was a
cool.
thing.
I didn't know they had a Premier League. I thought it was only college because when I was like in early middle school, I did play lacrosse, but it was because I saw it at a collegiate level. My dad was watching Syracuse, and then he was telling me about how Jim Brown is like one of rest in peace to him. He was one of the goats of what do you call it of lacrosse because he played for Syracuse. He's one of the first black players as well. He's like that's a huge historical impact he had, and that brought me to the sport. And then I started watching Duke and North Carolina and some of the other teams up north that played lacrosse, and I just didn't know there was a
They had the
professional
water.
league until I saw
I
it
saw the
last
water
night
polo
on
league.
ESPN. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So yeah, cornhole. Oh yeah, water polo is nice. I like watching that during the Olympics. Team handball and water polo are the two Olympic sports
And
I look
extreme
forward to
tennis.
every Olympics.
Oh, not tennis.
Like I don't
Ping,
watch the Olympic basketball.
Ping
I
pong.
don't
Ping
watch
pong is
Uh,
the
nice.
I
yeah,
don't
ping
Ping
yes,
pong
pong
go
is
ping pong as
nice.
well.
crazy.
Ping pong is nice.
And
Ping
look out
pong
for
and
them
badminton.
China, and
I don't watch. I'm not going to watch as much as I love track. I'm not going to watch track for the Olympics because it's like you can see track throughout ESPN, or I can watch basketball on ESPN. We also know who
Yeah.
most likely will win. I want to watch
European basketball.
the 3v3 tournaments they have in the Olympics now. The
Well,
wheelchair
I just want
basketball.
y'all
Like,
to
oh, I
get
want
it.
to watch the
If y'all
crazy
ever
sports
get a
that I would
chance
never
to,
watch
I
on a
want y'all
random
to go
Tuesday.
up to Minnesota. Y'all got to go up to Minnesota. I want to say it's Duluth, Minnesota. Yes, Duluth, Minnesota. If you ever get a chance, go up, go up there and
Uh-huh.
go curl.
Home of the jeans. They be having a bunch of
That's the
jean commercials up
that's
there.
the only place I want. If I want to remember, that's the only place you can curl in America. Because
Okay,
that's where the
okay.
U.S.
I've
team
seen it.
practices at. The U.S. curling team practices in Duluth.
That's wild.
Go if you get a chance to go up there. Uh,
That,
Oh
because I'm
wow,
about to
that's
say
back
they
good.
of the
only
day.
yeah like they do. I think I think you can go up there and do
Back
like
to the for real
group
though.
purchases, but they usually only do clubs. And even if you don't go curling, you could sit there and sit in the skybox. They have a bar in there. You can sit there and watch everybody else curl and watch games go on. Like if you get a chance to curl, go out there and try it because that is when you watch it on Olympics or stuff, you be like, oh, they're just out there with the brooms and stuff. When I got down
It's
there,
different.
it's so much like finesse to it that it's like, bro, you can't even like push off too hard.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even sweep the ice too much because then it's slick, bro. Man,
Oh yeah, no.
bro, I didn't think I was gonna have that much
Yeah,
fun
there's
in
a whole
trail.
math and physics. There's a
I
lot of
truly didn't
physics
think I was
involved
gonna
in
have
it.
that
I
much
could
fun in
definitely
trail.
tell.
And I was like, bro, I gotta get back up here to do this. I got
That's dope.
Yeah. Yep. Back to the Skip Bayless thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched First Take and I knew it because of Stephen A and Kerry Champion. I really forgot about Skip Bayless to the point where I didn't even know he left the show. That's one thing about him. And I didn't really know what his name was until I saw Shannon. I said, that's Shannon Sharpe. I'm like, who is this white man that he's arguing with? I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Ain't he from ESPN? I said, oh, Skip Bayless. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't as long as like everyone's like, oh, Skip's been on ESPN for this many years. He's been on Undisputed for this many years. I didn't really know the guy until he was with either Stephen A. Like I didn't notice him. I didn't notice him until he was on, unless he was on TV with Stephen A. Smith. And I didn't know who his name was until he was on TV with Shannon. So that's just my personal opinion on him. So that's why I also am glad Shannon's moving on, because at the end of the day, Skip is not going to bring
it's
in
been
no
proven.
numbers by himself. And I think he knows that. I think Fox knows that. He's
Man,
probably going to
I
retire
ain't gonna
soon,
hold. I
which is
saw some
also
shit
another
where they
reason
were
why they
saying that
bought
they
the
were
man
trying
out
to
his
look
contract,
for
because
his
they like
replacement
Skip on his
out
way
and
out
trying to
anyway.
throw some names out
So
there, bro. The one name that had me dying, and I was like, oh yeah, just like you said, man, you may as well go ahead and retire. Ain't nobody watching that shit. Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless on the Undisputed? Fuck no, ain't nobody going for that. Ain't nobody going for that. Ain't nobody going. Ain't nobody going for that, man. Ain't nobody going for that, man.
no,
Ain't
no,
nobody going for
Hey,
that.
that's the
bro,
Cowboy Fan Network. I'm
where
good on
He
platinum,
that.
said the
where
Yeah,
platinum
Cowboy
that they
Fan
might as
T-shirt,
well put
Network.
platinum
that. They
T
might
in
as
the
well
back.
move. They might as well move the headquarters to Dallas.
Somebody get Platinum P in the chat.
That's gonna be. That's gonna be. Every day. That is crazy. We go. Yeah, next week when he's on, we're
Dak
gonna
Prescott
bring
the
it up and
GOAT.
see
That's all
This
they're
is
gonna
exactly
talk
our
what.
about.
year.
Because yeah, that
This
is.
is our
Oh
year.
my gosh,
We
that's gonna be
Cowboys.
disgusting. The whole room's gonna be cowboyed out. They're gonna do shows live. Like it would make some good money if the Cowboys were winning and they were the number one team in the league right now. That would make some really good money.
Hey,
They could do that
that's
once
a
a
fact.
month, have like an episode or whatever, and just do their thing like that. Because I think soon the cable debate shows are going to go away. Soon, a lot of these analysts and a lot of these people in the media are going to start to realize I can make my own money doing this without having to be through the confines of a network. They'll realize I can do this. I can move around. I might not have access to the stadiums because you know how like ESPN will do like, oh, this week we gonna be at the finals. You know what I'm saying? Every episode is gonna be streaming live from the finals. You might not be able to have that access that some of these players are, but you never know, because I look at 85 South Show. They're based out of Atlanta. They have this sports show where they're interviewing some of the Atlanta Hawks players in the stadium. So it's like you can get the access if you build enough credit for yourselves and just a big enough fan base so you can do it independently. So I think soon this might be a new wave where Shannon's going to leave, Stephen A might leave, all these other guys that are like big on the networks are going to start doing their own thing and
And
still
that was
having that
my original
credibility to
thought
move how they move.
with
So
why is Shannon Sharpe accepting the treatment he was getting at Undisputed when he was going back and forth with Skip Bayless? Because he got credibility because he built his own independent show. Shout out Club Shay Shay.
Players,
Interviewing different
celebrities.
players and
These
having
sponsorships, goddamn.
these niggas not
We get
paying us.
one or two plugs out here. Mess
Like,
around.
I literally just quoted
Shit
85, so
crazy.
yeah, I was
I
just
never
messing
even get no
around.
plug.
okay, but he had his own show outside of the Undisputed, and that's why a lot of people were saying,
Facts.
Shannon Sharpe, you ain't got to take that. Like you got your own, you built your own entity off of your back, and you're going to or not ESPN, you're going to
Facts.
Fox Sports and taking the treatment. So that also was another factor in the whole decision. I feel as though he made. So yeah, just like you said, it's like a lot of these commentators, a lot of these sports analysts, they realizing like if you just stay consistent, you you have a voice, you can build your own platform. Wisdom of the week this week, we're gonna talk about courage. As men, especially my black men, courage is something that we gotta practice and we gotta have in the back of our mind going to this week upcoming. Courage is having the wherewithal and the willpower to do the things that's uncomfortable, things that we not we might not necessarily want to do, but it's needed. It's a necessity. It's required in the situation that presents itself. And through that courage, you go through that pain, you get growth. And as I'm staring at the beach right now, at the fireworks going on, we gotta just push through these uncomfortable times and these uncomfortable situations and have those real conversations with ourselves, our family, and the people around us to get us to a better way of being. And you know, just the little things like if somebody going through something and they talking and you hear like the conversation, you kind of read between the lines, you could have that conversation, be that ear, and tell them what needs to be said instead of what the people want to hear. And that's the difference between being a family, a brother, and just being like that casual friend. Just telling somebody what they want to hear. Or just doing things that feel good in the moment, but don't really lead to the goals and the aspirations that you want in life. So courage, just having that courage. And it's like a superpower. Once you can master it as a man, that's how you grow from being a little boy to that man you want to be and be that pillar to be, leaned on. So that's what we talking about, courage. Just uncomfortable, pushing ourselves to be uncomfortable, pushing ourselves to go through those changes that we need in order to get to the next level. Cause as we go on this podcast, it's gonna be times where we gotta make that tough decision. Instead of going out to party, doing that, spending money on this, save that money, put that money towards an investment like the podcast or your business or your health. And that's what wisdom of the week we on courage.